Good morning. Good morning.
Afraid of motherfucking bot. Oh,
That's
are
okay.
we on now?
Yeah, we're on now. So I said
is that
cutting
the-
across. That's usually what I
Oh.
say before we go
You know
live.
what? Sometimes I pay attention, sometimes I don't. Starting off with a bang. Hey, TPK.
Good morning, TPK Roleplay. Hey Lauren. Hey Jay. Tell Anoriand to finish Daikatana.
God damn it, Longave!
Jesus Christ, the episode just started, they get at you. Welcome to our chat.
Do you fight your chat too?
Daily.
Hey!
I have
Host.
many a story. It's pretty much a battle. It's pretty much just a battle at
Huh.
any given time.
Wow, Noir, I think we found a kindred spirit for you because
Yo,
the chat is always fighting you.
It makes sense. We're about to go double dragon on this chat today.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are, James. We can also finally talk about that. Let's get to... I don't want to keep interrupting.
No, it's all good.
No, it's fine. That's what the show is.
It's pretty much exactly what the show is Nora screaming at the camera for 4+ hours. It's like
That's
most
it.
of the
It's not
clips on
just
this
me.
channel
It's not just
are
me.
just Noir screaming and calling me a filthy commie.
Well, if you act like one.
I'm gonna cut this right now.
If the hammer and sickle fit.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Lankave. Good morning, Jamie, because I know that you're in the other room. Hi. And
Damn, I don't know who this land give person is, but they are coming for your neck.
You know what's the saddest thing? You know what's the saddest thing? These things he's saying. So okay, before we even start the thing, let's just go ahead and explain it. Longave is not just one of my first. Like, let me say the positives first because I need to lay some groundwork for what I.
Oh, you getting a compliment sandwich, homie?
Right, absolutely.
Double me.
So Longave is not just one of the first people who came and legitimately just started watching and supporting me, and like has been there for me nonstop. I will say that he's actually my like #1 mod. Like this dude has been there for me day one. Love him, absolutely do. Okay.
All right, now that the nice part is
But
over, let's get him. Let's get him.
as he is my mod, this isn't even a let's get him. This is just a fact. Since he's my mod, my #1 mod, he has full access to my Nightbot.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes programs in stuff for me. Like he'll be like he programmed in a quote bot, things like that. Does good things. He also will randomly program in some sort of new command while I'm not looking or paying attention or streaming, so that I'll come to stream and someone will be. And so the things he's saying are all things that you can command to have it yell at people. He literally has a command that says remember, ! Remember, and when you put that, it says remember, Game Dad, or Anoriand loves being called Game Daddy.
so, Game Daddy, how are you this morning?
So how do we make commands?
Fine.
You need to have to remember. No, he loves to be called Game Daddy in this chat too now.
Fine.
Give me 1 second.
You know what? You know what? And he's not lying about what he said. He made Club Run happen. And that, which also led to probably the most notable example of something that is getting...
Lagame, I'm probably fucking up your name, but why would you want to condemn anybody to playing Daikatana? Like,
Because they hate me.
that is
God!
that is one of the worst games of all time.
He knows! I've already started playing it!
I would rather play Superman 64, and let me tell you something. You know what? It's better than a Quake ripoff. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, listen, Daikatana's god awful. I got to like the third world, and eventually I was like, I brain leak out here. Cannot do. So the club run he brings up. So on stream, I did a full. For those of you familiar with the game Parasite Eve, it was.
That's a good one. That's a good
it
game.
was you guys obviously mentioned that seem to know it, but for the chat, if you don't know, for the PlayStation 1, Square had a RPG they made called Parasite Eve, You followed a cop named Ayabrea. It was an RPG, but with very unique elements. So it was modern day. It was set in New York. You had just the one character, and you would move around during battle, but there was still like an active time battle system where you couldn't attack until your bar filled up and things like that. And you would have different guns and different powers and what have you. Well, because my chat hates me, ended up through the pressure of the chat saying, like, you know what? F it. Parasite Eve Club Run. Because I did it for October last year. I played Parasite Eve for the first time beginning to end.
What is a club run?
You go with the run. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So, one of the weapons you can get is a club, like a police baton club.
Oh, okay.
Beat the whole game, no guns.
Okay, well, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah, well, I did it. Several problems have arisen. One have arisen. Ed. Okay, problem one.
Arose?
I don't know word.
Still not finished, by the way, Chrysler Building. Oh my God. It's like he has his own Darby and Bella. I love this.
Okay.
It's
Only
so when you
he's given them powers.
Parasite Eve, when you beat Parasite Eve, you unlock New Game Plus, and in New Game Plus there is the Chrysler Building, which is, you can go up, it's 70 floors worth of challenges. Before I get to the end of the game, when everyone realizes I figured out playing it well enough and gotten strong enough that I'm going to be able to beat it, everyone's like, cool, now do the Chrysler Building Club only. So that's going to come at some point because I hate myself. But also, the most long-lasting effect of the whole thing, I'm just going to go ahead and get in front of this one. So, in the normal game, you find 3 different clubs. Club 2, and Club 3. Club 2 and Club 3 have an innate a power on them that they steal items when you attack, but your attacks only deal half as much damage. Well, that obviously isn't going to work for me when this is my only form of attacking. Now, you can mod off powers from weapons onto other weapons, or stat boosts from weapons onto other weapons with tools. But if you do that, you destroy the weapon in the process, unless you have a super tool, of which there are 2 guaranteed super tools in the game. And with a super tool, you can mod something from one weapon onto another. No weapons get destroyed. One of them, in the hospital section, there's a monster that's like this big amorphous blob, and it creates these little balls that it throws up to 3 at a time that just start bouncing around. You want to kill the blob, that's the main enemy, but you can kill the little balls it throws. It caps out of 3 at a time at 97 balls. If you destroy all 97, and then the creature, each one has like a different special drop because there's like 4 you can fight in the hospital. One of them gives you a super tool. So I'm doing this. Obviously, it's taking forever. It literally took me with the club like 45 fucking minutes.
Sounds right.
So someone was like, because of the fact that I'm sitting here taking a stick, a club, and smashing balls to death, saying, Anoriand is the master of CBT. And I was like, that's right. You know me. I'm the CBT master. Club ball training all day. I did not know what CBT meant. There's a clip of me saying, I'm the CBT master.
There's going to be another one coming up pretty quick here.
Yeah, that's cock and balls torture.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a reason this is an 18+ stream.
So there is a clip of that on my channel.
There's going to be another one here.
I just...
It's hard to find a dog that's good at it. So, you know, it's not to be proud of, buddy. You know?
So, yeah.
Good morning.
So thus is the legacy of the club run.
17 minutes and we've already gotten into some advanced BDSM. Yep. Awesome.
Yep. Hi. Welcome to my ritual.
Hi.
We haven't even got to introductions yet again.
Yes. The legend continues.
Set the timer, y'all.
We're 17 minutes in.
Too blessed to be stressed.
Oh.
CBT Master, what kind of channel are you running, pal?
I had a timer
Game
ready
Daddy.
already. All right, so hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of Morning Ritual. I'm your co-host Noah Enigma,
and I'm the host Anita.
And there it is, and this is Morning Ritual. Today our guest is a CBT master,
Game Daddy,
who's got a game of Daikatana waiting to happen. Why don't you go ahead?
but has not finished the Chrysler Building Club run yet.
I want to be clear that the tears coming out of my eyes aren't blowing. They are soul pain.
Are they salty tears or are they?
They're very salty. Because they're condensed soul pain coming out of my eyes.
We should start asking for
Like
we should start asking for. We should ask for testimonies from all of our guests after the episode's over. Like, I had so much fun on Morning Ritual. Anoriand is just gonna be like, fuck the both of them. I don't want to be on this whack ass show.
I'm done. I didn't know it was all an elaborate setup, but we're here now. So
I'm sorry, but that's what happens when your mods get into chat and decide to fight
If you look under your desk, you'll find a controller for your game of Daikatana.
Anoriand, look under your seat.
Oh, I put too much sugar in my tea now.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, other than everything,
Other
the
than
lies that chat is spreading about you?
I'm Anoriand. Real name is Josh, but I go by Anoriand on the internet because no one goes by their real name on the internet. I also go by the Game Dad because I am a dad who games. Yeah, that's one way to describe it, Yami. It's fun. You can find me on the socials, twitter.com/GameDadJF or @GameDadJF. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Anoriand. And I'm a game streamer, I guess, but I do TTRPGs. Yeah. I pretend like I'm part of the TTRPG space because I keep just showing up and shit. And then just like skate off into the night to be like, now let's play Mario. Because why not?
I mean, that's fair. Like, I suck at video games, and that's kind of why, I have a hard time.
This isn't even a secret, it's just the truth. I do too.
Oh, okay.
But people just come and watch. See, here's the thing. I'm just good enough. It's kind of like when Mario Maker came out, and I was doing a lot of streaming that. I'm just good enough to beat the levels in Mario Maker that have like 0.2% completion, but I'm not good enough to like go in and crush it in the first try or anything. It's just a lot of me throwing my face into a saw blade for 40 minutes until I figure it out. Which is why I got the PlayStation 5, and of course the first game I decided to stream was Demon's Souls, because I hate myself.
Oh, why? Dude,
because I just said because I hate myself.
Yeah.
And so here's the frustrating thing.
Everything?
I'm playing through the first segment of the game and dying. Reach the first boss, kill it one try. Then I go to the next section of the game, dying. Reach the next box, kill it one try. It wasn't until the third boss that I died once, and that's because of the fact that I got caught, like I thought there was empty space behind me to roll and there was a wall. And then when I tried again, killed it the next try.
So, like...
Somehow I'm able to demolish bosses, but you put me up against just a fucking little guy in a thingy, or a skeleton that's like, I'm gonna roll around like a jackass for 15 minutes.
That is true that... Anoriand is also the second lieutenant of the Antifa army.
I am. Okay, there's a story there too. Okay, so I want to give a shout out for those of you who do not know. Follow the lovely wonderful, talented Milady Confetti. She very recently, actually, during GlitchCon, this past weekend, she was doing an affiliate spotlight, and it was actually kind of a setup, because when she got on there, they're like, oh, by the way, we just want to announce you're one of our latest Twitch partners. It was her and Zombie Kills.
Oh, wow.
To start off the weekend. It was great. Milady Confetti is a black woman streamer, very talented. Pretty much, she'll do an occasional other thing here or there, but by and large, she's a Dead by Daylight streamer. That is her game of
Hey! And it's Milady Confetti?
Yes, Milady, Milady, and then confetti spelled normal.
Brave of you to assume I know how to spell confetti, but I found it.
I bought 4 shirts from her. 2 for me, 2 for my wife. The 2 for me, it's this one, and then another one with the same sort of font and style, but it says Black Lives Matter. And then for my wife, I got one that says blackity black, all black everything, and then another that says all black everything, but it's inside a white heart. So, I go to the local grocery store, Publix. I'm wearing my Black Lives Matter shirt. This was a month ago? Something like that? I don't know.
I remember reading this on Twitter when it came up.
Yes. Yeah, I talked about it. Get in my car, drive to him, get there, boom, mask up, keys, throw in my headphone, do my thing. I don't even remember I'm in this shirt until I get inside. Walking inside, going around a corner, lady's coming from down an aisle with a cart. Old lady, she's white and an old lady, so she was either 55 and looked terrible or 103. I honestly can't give you a better estimation.
That's fair.
Somewhere in that range. Okay. She sees me. Eyes down at my chest, where Black Lives Matter is written. Me, chest, me, chest, me. I swear to God, she did an actual triple take. I didn't think that was real, and yet.
Here we are.
He was trying to put the math together.
And I realized, I was like, did I have some? And I looked down, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And I can't, make a speedy exit from the situation, because, I don't want to curse out an old lady in public.
I mean,
I don't want to. I can and will, but I don't want to. But the problem is there were people, I'm trying to social distance, and there were people, the way they were standing, walking very slowly, I was like, I couldn't, get away that fast. So I'm trying to move. And I hear her behind me and talking to, as I turn, I turned from the situation, there was an old dude there, so I'm going to assume it was her husband or, other familial relation. I don't know what they do. It could be a Hills Have Eyes situation. I don't know. And I'm listening, and I hear this woman behind me, and I quote, "Honey, I think I just saw Antifa." Now, at that time, I looked up to the heavens, and I was like, God, I know this is a test, but I also know that I'm like a C student. So it's at this point, I had the opportunity. I turned around, I'm like, actually, I'm a second lieutenant in Antifa. And I walked away, and I audibly heard her gasp. Like an actual... And it made my day. So, we also do have a command for the bot that says, show some respect. You're in the presence of a second lieutenant of Antifa.
I love how scared these motherfuckers are of Antifa. It's my favorite thing.
The only thing that could have made it any better is if she had said the Antifas. That's the only way it could have gone better than it did.
Well, I mean, it's saying that, just saying Antifa as a whole thing is like, I think I just saw Antifa. No, you saw the entirety of Antifa.
All of it, the whole thing.
You saw
the entire structure.
Antifa. I don't know about y'all, but Antifa sounds like a dope ass band or a really delicious appetizer. Like, I want some mozzarella sticks. I could go for a little bit of Antifas. French fries.
I would eat that.
I would eat Antifa.
I would eat that. I would eat Antifa.
It tastes. It sounds like it tastes a little crunchy.
It also sounds like it's got like a fancy cheese involved, like not your everyday.
Yeah.
It's got to have like camembert.
We need somebody to make a recipe for the Antifas.
Damn it.
Get on it. Chat, if anyone can do it, I know you can.
Listen, I don't know. I live
Kelsey's on it.
There we go. Like going back to Dark Souls though, Demon Souls rather. That is the first game that ever made me break a controller.
Listen, I'll tell you right now. You know what's funny? As much as I've been dying, I've been enjoying it. Now, again, I'm good enough to be able to figure this kind of stuff out, but also bad enough to where if you go watch my streams, there's a lot of me dying. It's just a lot of me dying. And it's me dying, like, there's moments where, there's a clip that came from the last stream where I'm walking and I go to get an item and I'm in with the section known as the Shrine of Storms. And something that appears several places there is like little pressure pads on the floor. And if you push them, there's going to be a spot somewhere where arrows are going to start shooting out. Yeah. But once you get the first one, it's the clue of, hey, look around when you're walking in new areas. Now, they're only going to appear in hallways or things like that. Well, I go to an area, and of course, I'm not looking down. I'm like, oh, there's an item. And I go to grab the item off the body, and right as I step and go to do it, there's a pressure pad, and I'm already locked into the animation to get the item, and I'm just start screaming, no! No, not this! But the first one hit me and bounced me slightly to the side, so the other hit me, and then I was able to roll out, and I was like, no, I'm fine. Everything's good. I could tell you the whole time.
I can tell you the moment I broke my controller. Here's the
important thing, though. I was like, no, I'm fine. I moved slightly, and I'm like, guys, I knew I'm fine. I knew I would always be.
Oh, so you were bullshitting.
No. I knew I would always be, and that's when the skeleton that was in an off room that I didn't notice before apparently got triggered from when I was in the spot behind his room and rolled away and came up and instantly killed me in one strike. Jesus and I Christ. Just stared at my screen and I was like, where the fuck did he come from? So, yeah,
it leads to fuck you. Like, the point where
your broken controller, please.
Yes, the moment I broke. Okay, so there's a point where you're like walking and you see a dragon off in the distance, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's
on really the bridge.
Cool, yeah, I'm like, that's a really cool backdrop. That's
I already know what's gonna happen.
So I start walking forward, and I start to hear, woof, woof, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool for a background, because I didn't know what this game was. Like, fuck the GameStop guy who sold it to me.
Hey, folks, what do dragons do?
Fuck the guy who sold it to me, because he was just like, oh yeah, if you like Zelda and Dungeons and Dragons, you're gonna love this.
That is the most
I'm like, you
sales move I've ever heard in my life.
Fucking prick. So I'm walking down the bridge and I hear the flapping, and I'm like, that's pretty cool that they have stuff in the background like that. Surely, because I just started this game, I have nothing to worry about. What kind of sick, sadistic game would send a dragon at me this soon? So I'm just walking down the bridge, minding my own motherfucking business, and I just hear the flaps get louder, and then there is a pillar of flames that just obliterate everything on the bridge. And I'm like, what did that? Because I didn't see the dragon. So I have to restart. It's fine. The dragon is not where he was when, like, in the background when I come there the second time. So I'm like, oh, the dragon's gone. It must be like a timed thing where he's there sometimes and he's not there other times. So I just walk down the bridge, minding my own fucking business, and then I hear flaps, and I'm like, wait, no, I'm level 1. I'm baby. They wouldn't send a dragon after a baby. They sent a dragon after a baby. So then I'm just like, okay, maybe the problem is that I'm walking across the bridge. Maybe if I run, hey, Punker, maybe if I run, I can outrun the dragon and his fire. And I did this 5 or 6 times before. I didn't throw the controller. I snapped it.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was strong enough to do that until this game.
So for those of you who are familiar with the vague idea of Soulsborns, but maybe haven't played one thing I want to reiterate is the first death is not the painful one. It's the second death. What I mean by that is, as you kill enemies and so on, you collect souls. And souls are your currency for everything. Souls are used to level up. They're also used to buy items. They're used to upgrade your weapons. They're used to repair your equipment. They're used for everything. When you die, you drop all your souls wherever you are. You can go back to your body and get back all your souls and be fine. Unless you die again before you get to your body. Then you get
nothing.
They're gone.
Nothing.
They're in the ether. And I want to explain something because I know the exact part he's talking about. It is after the first boss, but the game puts a little sword thingy where you can go back to like the main hub area after you kill the first boss, but it doesn't tell you, hey, go back there. There's new areas to explore, and also the ability to power up and level up and all this stuff has appeared. You've been to that area already. You didn't know any of that shit would suddenly pop up the first time you played if you never used a guide. So I'm just like, I'm the same as him. I was like, okay, I'm going to keep on walking.
And then the dragon fucks you to death.
Also, what the game doesn't tell you is you're not actually expected to keep going, even if you do level up. There's 3 sections of 5 different. There's 5 main areas, and each of the main areas has 3 sections. You just did section 1 of area 1. What the game doesn't tell you is the expectation is you're going to do section 1 of area 2, section 1 of area 3, not necessarily in that order. You can do them in whatever order, but you can do all the section 1s, then all the section 2s, then all the section 3s, because section 2 represents a noticeable ramp up in difficulty. Doesn't tell you, just lets you die.
It just lets you go. And I have never been more furious at a game.
I have, and humorously, it was on the PS5, but it wasn't that game.
Which one was it?
Spider-Man. Miles Morales specifically.
The one that you were just playing before we started the stream?
No. Okay, so I got the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition because I never got to play the 2018 Spider-Man. So I was like,
it's
okay.
so good.
I'm enjoying it. So, but here's the thing. I was like, okay, well, as long as I never got the chance to play it, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to spend the extra $20 and be able to enjoy that on the PS5. Remastered. Cool.
Right.
But I was like, I don't want to wait. I want to go straight to Miles. I love Miles. No offense to Peter Parker, but you're literally my least favorite Spider character. That's a compliment to the others, because I really still like you. It's just, I like others more. So I'm like, okay, I'm playing Miles Morales. Now in Miles Morales, there are challenges, much like in the original. There's 3 combat, 3 stealth, and 3 traversal. Of all the challenges...
Stealth is almost unfair with Miles, though.
Oh, yeah. No. Each one was basically do it once just to kind of figure out where the enemies walk, and then just do it again and get it perfect. No issues. I got all of them on my second try. Combat, the only one that really gave me any trouble was there's one where you have to take down 20 enemies, and it was all about dodging. So that one took a couple tries, to get the perfect score. And you need to get perfect scores on all... There's 3 challenges in each of the categories. You get perfect scores in all 9 in order to unlock the final challenge, and you need to beat the final challenge in order to get a special, unique suit. So that one, it took a couple tries because you have to dodge perfectly and not get hit, taking out 20 enemies. It just took some focus and practice, and the mindset of, don't worry about killing, worry about dodging. Once you get there, you're fine. Traversal Challenge 3.0 was designed by someone who hates everyone because they have no friends, and they decided to take it out on everyone. The perfect time, the best time you can, or the best rank time to achieve is 45 seconds. I spent an hour and a half on this shit. Not once, but twice. I am web swinging into the final marker where it closes off, and my time flips to 46. Like, if this is the marker, as I'm like, 46. This controller is called the DualSense. I almost had the world's first DualSense when there was going to be 2 of them. Oh, God.
Oh,
When I eventually got it, I was like, I'm never doing this again. And then my kids were like, Daddy, can we have our own file? Yes. Yes.
couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
Oh, it's rage-inducing. Like,
God, I can't
there's
wait.
no margin for error.
I cannot wait till I get a PlayStation 5. It's gonna be a good day.
Rage.
Oh.
Raging again. Noir raging in any capacity. We don't know her.
No, I will say, the graphics are nice. The thing that really sells me on it is the load times. I got shit to do. I'm not exaggerating when I say we tested it on stream. From off, not even rest mode, off to turn it on, select the game, click start, what have you, was 40 seconds I was in and playing. From the system being off to moving around doing stuff.
That's impressive.
Oof.
Which is good because I'm impatient.
That's so sad. We got rid of you. Oh.
It's okay, Anita. We gonna get you a PlayStation 5 at some point.
I know. I had one in my hands. But I couldn't afford it, so we wound up selling it to a friend.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh my god. So I have to ask, what do you think your channel's most infamous tirade or rage moment has been?
Some of your people are in chat would probably have some input on this.
I'm just waiting considering what, Langave. Hearing about you finishing everything perfectly, considering.
See you, Lauren.
Yeah.
Because I just know something.
Tactics 1.3.
You son of a bitch.
I love how we adjusted the levels of the microphone before, but like directly into the microphone talking is.
I need to make sure he hears it. You son of a bitch. Okay. Okay. That might well be in the annals of channel history.
The annals?
The annals of channel history. So many people are familiar with Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is a very popular mod for Final Fantasy Tactics called Final Fantasy Tactics 1.3.
Yeah.
It's actually 2 versions of the mod. There's 1.3 and 1.3 content. I decided to play 1.3 content. And there's a very key difference, but either way, I'll get to it. 1.3 completely rebalances the experience with a noticeably difficult tilt. What it is it makes enemies pretty much across the board a lot better. Like no more you're in late chapter 2 and one of the enemies is like a squire with a broadsword and his secondary ability is item and all he can do is throw ethers. Like no, enemies are built to have actual builds. Monsters are much stronger, things like that. And classes are almost across the board. There's almost no class that's like exactly the way it was in the original game.
Yeah.
So like knights now, instead of just having like power break and armor break and things like that, now they have abilities called ruins, power ruin, speed ruin, magic ruin. They're ranged and they cost MP. So you limit immediately how much you can like weaken enemies, but they become a lot more versatile. Now you can hit people at range, things like that. Well, the enemy also has access to all these new changes. The regular 1.3, I think, is a little bullshit because what it is it makes all the storyline battles scale based on your level. But enemy levels are almost always like your level plus 4, your level plus 5. It gets ridiculous. So you're always at a steep disadvantage. Whereas 1.3 content still has it as like enemies are at a story battles are at a certain guaranteed level.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the fights, for anyone who's played Final Fantasy Tactics, if you've dealt with the whole sequence at Rio Veins, where you have the one-on-one duel with Weegriff, followed by the battle against the big giant monster as a team, followed by the rooftop fight. That shit took me like a whole damn stream. I got to the fight, I'm like, let's see what this is like. I went and checked his stats. I'm like, oh, he has 500 fucking HP! We're fine. And you and the thing is, you lose all your abilities to cheat. You can't be like, I'm just going to use my ability to increase my speed +1 every turn. Because that ability doesn't fucking exist anymore. Because they didn't want you to be able to cheat your way through it. But that's fine. But then I got to the
game to cheat.
Well, not cheat, but like exploit mechanics.
Yeah.
But like they're like,
okay.
no, you're going to beat this legit. So it took forever, but I finally figured this fight out.
No.
Then I get to Elmdor. Exactly one character in my party can possibly act before he does, but can't reach him to even attack. Then he moves, and he unleashes an attack that instantly kills 4 out of 5 of my party members, and there's nothing I can do.
I hate to see it.
That's when I said, fuck it. We are done. We are done with this. Because everything up until then was like a puzzle. A thing where it's like, I can figure it out if I take the right things and the right actions. It's not about getting to level 99. It's about just use the right actions, the right moves, and figure out, it's like a Rubik's Cube. And then you get to that level, and they took a hammer to the Rubik's Cube and said, fuck your Rubik's Cube. Figure it out. No.
You know what?
I won't.
I think in honor of having the game dad here, I have a segment I would very much love to have us all answer.
Mm-hmm.
How about we drop our video game hot takes?
That's fine.
Video game hot takes?
I have 7.
I have several.
Okay. I'll drop one first.
Okay, go.
If you're a fan of Sonic, you're probably a pervert somehow.
No, that tracks.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll accept that.
That's
I love Sonic Mania, so I'm just, have to sell myself out there.
Something freaky about you.
It has to be. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. Listen. Okay, listen. Here's why I'm gonna push back though, because Sonic has a very, very strict dress code. The girls wear full outfits, and the boys only wear shoes and gloves.
On official material.
But what I'm saying is, like, think about it. Like, Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, all of them. No, I know that. But I'm saying, like, official stuff. Why are the girls wearing full outfits? Because if the boys are only wearing shoes and gloves.
Because the fans don't care about the girls.
Okay, like, I'm just going to say, there's no genitals there. So if the girl characters have, then what? How do you? Okay,
Sonic.
I've thought about this before.
One reason I don't go to Sonic is the number one reason I don't go to DeviantArt any longer.
Okay.
Because if within 10 minutes you're gonna stumble upon some Sonic content that's gonna
bold of you to assume it would only take 10 minutes. No, that's a fair take.
Yeah, I'd say that's a medium take at best, not a hot take.
All right. Okay, here we go. Here's a hot take. Chaos Legion is better than every Mega Man ever made.
Chaos Legion?
Yes. Chaos Legion was a Capcom game that got one game, and it was amazing, and it was clearly a Devil May Cry ripoff.
Oh, I've seen this before.
It was clearly a Devil May Cry ripoff, but I would much rather them have continued on with Chaos Legion than ever returned to Mega Man.
Well, you're wrong there, but that's fine.
Mega Man is played out.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion. Here's the one reason I will agree with you. Here's the one thing I will agree with you about. By that point, PlayStation 2, so we're talking Mega Man X7, Mega Man X8. Yeah, no. I'm fine with deleting Mega Man X7 from existence.
Also, Mega Man fans are weird. Like, I'm sorry.
As a guy who has played from beginning to end Mega Man X, X2, X3, X4, Mega Man 8, Mega Man and Base on his channel, yeah, that tracks. That's fine. I'll accept that.
Wow.
No,
okay.
listen.
I guess
Punkle's coming for your head, though.
I know.
I'm willing to delete X7 from existence, though, because X7 has the single most traumatizing fight in any video game ever, and that is the fight against the boss, Flame Heinyar.
You know what? I'm about to really get in trouble with this next hot take. Dragon's Dogma is better than Skyrim.
Oh, no, I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you. No. Here's the thing. Let me tell you this. Here's where my hot take is. I don't like Skyrim.
No, I can see it's overrated.
Here's my thing. I have an issue with, did Noir freeze or did he just, unplug his camera?
No,
okay, never mind. I thought he froze. I thought he might have unplugged his camera and been like, I'm out, the moment I said I don't like Skyrim. No.
Fuck this.
Open world games, for me, it's kind of like recently I brought up before we started the whole Yakuza thing. I will take Yakuza over Grand Theft Auto 10 times out of 10. The map, they don't talk about, the map is 518 miles by 748 miles physical. I ain't got fucking time to walk around like that. I'm a dad.
I don't like Grand Theft Auto.
Give me a dense, compacted area. Let me walk around, sure, but give me a dense area with things to do. It's why I'm going to tell you this right now. I've been enjoying Spider-Man Remastered. I pick Miles Morales over Spider-Man Remastered 10 times out of 10. And granted, I'm about 40% of the way through Spider-Man Remastered, according to the tracker, but it's because there is just an abundance of shit to do just to have there be shit to do. Whereas with Miles Morales, because it's smaller and it's more focused, everything feels like it has more reason and purpose. Don't just give me a massive map and shit to do for the purpose of having a massive map and shit to do. Give me a purpose or a reason to do it.
I think that's why I like Saints Row more than Grand Theft Auto, because Saints Row is all about just being fucking ridiculous. And it's about being fucking ridiculous with your friends. I don't know if you've ever played Saints Row with 4 people, but it is the most fun you will ever have in a fucking video game ever. It's
fun.
It's just dumb fun.
And that I'm going to take that to Launchpad and a hot take here, which is I think we've evolved past the need for Grand Theft Auto. And that they say that because the two closest games I would equivocate to Grand Theft Auto, Yakuza or Saints Row. I would pick either one over Grand Theft Auto for the exact opposite reason. Yakuza has all the traveling around, has the storyline aspects, has fun. It's way better mechanics, way better combat mechanics. Combat's fun. It's not just something that occurs, and it's super wholesome. It has so many positive messages for not judging others, for accepting people, for sex workers.
Yakuza?
Yeah. Okay. So Yakuza 0. Let me tell you, if you have an Xbox, if you have Xbox Game Pass, Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami 1, and Yakuza Kiwami 2, which were remakes of Yakuza 1 and 2. 0 is like a prequel, and you would want to play it 0, Kiwami, Kiwami 2, in that order. And then if you really like, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on. They're all available on Game Pass right now, on PC or on the Xbox itself.
Oh well, hold on. We got a hot take in the chat from Jamie. Hot take: the Souls games are trash.
I do have a hot take about Souls games. I don't think they're trash, but I do have a hot take about Souls games. But I just wanted to, real quick, with the Yakuza games, like Yakuza 0, let me give you an idea of some of the side quests I've run into in Yakuza 0. There is like slot car racing. They call it pocket racing, but it's slot car racing. You have a little car, you modify it, you customize it, do things like that so it has different stats, and you literally race it around like a Hot Wheels track, and you can boost or try to make sure to keep your car on the tracks, what have you. There's a character who runs it, the pocket racing fighter. Mm-hmm. That's what he calls himself. And he's in his like racing suit and things like that. Well, there's a whole thing where if you get your friendship up high enough and you race enough, a bunch of there's a little cutscene and a kid comes up to him and he's like, fighter, I heard you're a virgin. What? Who told you that? And another kid runs, it's like this kid did. Another kid runs up like, yeah, he's totally a virgin. They start making fun of him, virgin. And your character's like, what? Steps in, he's like, he's not a virgin. He's like one of the coolest guys I ever met. I'm sure ladies are throwing it at him. And they're like, whoa, well, he's cool, so he's got to be telling the truth. So the kids run away. But here's the cooler part. So then the guy's like, they're right, though. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm 30 years old. I've never even dated a woman. Like, that's not... Completely unbidden, your character's like, okay, but look at all these kids having fun. You bring joy and warmth and happiness, and you connect with people in a way so many of us couldn't. Someone out there is going to appreciate that. You just haven't found it yet. And just picks the dude up, lets him know he's okay on his own, and encourages him for the future, says there's nothing wrong with how he is. There's another quest. You run into this girl, and she's trying to be a dominatrix, but she's terrible. She's terrible. She's like, she's timid. But then when you talk to her, it's because her thing is she's trying to do it because she says, I've never been able to have a real relationship in my life or a friendship because I'm never assertive. I never speak for myself. I always just let people steamroll over me, and I wanted to find the strength to assert myself. So you help teach her, and the game just treats it as absolutely normal and fine, and there's nothing wrong with it because there's nothing wrong with it. There's so many positive like you take these situations and it's all built on positive messages. You go way against toxic masculinity. The main character, Kiryu, he'll get in fights, but with when he needs to, but he wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's willing to connect with people. Like the whole thing is, what if Grand Theft Auto was exceedingly positive? I'll take that 10 times out of 10. And then on the other end of the spectrum, if I wanted to be wild and crazy, Saints Row can let me go to the fucking moon.
Dude, you can elbow drop out of a jet and just blow up cop cars.
So what do I need Grand Theft Auto for? When I can go to the moon? That
or
seems like
hell.
Or hell. That seems like a really easy decision. So, now, the Souls games. I don't think they're trash, but, and here's where it's less hot take, and I've said this a lot, but I'm going to shout about it again anyways. There is no game on Earth, I don't care which one you point out, there is no game on Earth that does not benefit from not just an easy mode, but from multiple difficulty options, up to and including go ahead and give gamers God mode. I don't care. It doesn't dilute your experience. Yeah, there was a story that came out that said Bluepoint, the people who did the Demon's Souls remake for PS5, were gonna add an easy mode, and they decided not to because they wanted to stick closer to the original game. And I'm like, well, that's bullshit. You should have put it in.
I mean, you know the real reason why they didn't do that, though.
Because of all the get good culture.
Yeah.
Toxic gaming culture.
Perry, you
it's terrible.
Plebe.
It's terrible. And you know what's the hilarious thing? So, I'm going to do another shout out for Mix Tolvo on Twitter / Tolvo on Twitch. She is a trans woman streamer, and she plays with one hand. When I tell you, I'm not exaggerating when I say she will do new game +7. That's ramping up the difficulty for Sekiro, and do no hit runs with one hand. And she will do shit that I'll watch and I'll be like, I'm not registering what you actually pulled. Like, the way she maneuvers, I can't always keep up with it. And she's one of the most talented people in the world. And she said, yeah, no, there should be easy modes. It's not going to affect me or anyone else not using it. Doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
Let other people have fun.
It's like, oh, your Jesus came.
Hey!
I got my Jesus.
Jesus. It's like Faye said, when people say games shouldn't be easy, they're being ableist assholes.
Yup. And the best example I can give is actually these Spider-Man games. My 6 and 7-year-old were thrilled to see Miles Morales on the screen. They loved it. Why? I've got black kids.
Yeah.
Okay? They saw a character, the oldest one, especially 7, he's got a tightly wound curly hair pattern. So we looked up at him and he literally was like, I was sitting there playing with him and he was like, Daddy, I think Miles Morales is cooler than Peter Parker Spider-Man. I'm like, that's fine, buddy. I do too. Why do you think that? And he was like, well, he dresses cooler and he looks like me. I was like, it's cool. I agree. But what makes it better is there is a game of all the different difficulty options. The lowest option, Friendly Neighborhood, literally tells you, for people who want to enjoy the story, you cannot be knocked out in combat. Mm-hmm. Now, he still has to do the puzzles on his own and figure them out, but he literally cannot die.
Yeah.
So he gets to enjoy the game. It may take some thinking and figuring it out, so he gets to enjoy the game. But here's the thing. I watched him at the beginning. I watched him at the end. By the end, he had clearly grown in his skill set. So if he decides to play again, I might bump it up to the bare lowest level where you can still die. See how he handles it. Because he's learned the mechanics, even if he didn't have to. Because that's naturally what you do.
Yeah.
Like, people sit here and act like because you can't die, okay, I'm going to keep throwing my face into the enemy and dying anyways over and over again until I accidentally punch them. That's not how it works. You still want to beat guys up.
I cannot tell you, I cannot tell you how powerful seeing Into the Spider-Verse was.
110%.
I still refer to that take a leap scene with I'm down, and this might stray us off topic a little bit, but it's almost like I almost feel bad for white folks because it's just like y'all have so many heroes to choose from to see yourself as. But in the last 5 years we got Black Panther and Miles on the big screen, and each time I saw them on there, it hit in a different way. The spaceship Bugatti ending of Black Panther still hits me where I live, and then just the talk, Miles' dad talk. I have watched so many breakdowns of Into the Spider-Verse and found so many reasons why that film connects with me. Mm-hmm.
My favorite is how Miles starts off the show at a certain amount of frames per second.
24.
But as he gets towards the end of the thing, he catches up to everybody else. Mm-hmm. Is at the full.
Yeah, they started him out at 24 frames per second, but everyone else was at 36 frames per second.
But
so he was literally slower.
Yeah.
I remember when that was broken down, I was like, wait, what? Yeah. But your brain does, and it was beautiful how they showed it, when you're watching the movie, your brain just naturally fills in frames.
Yeah.
So all you see is, he looks slower and clumsier, but you don't know why. And it's because your brain is just inserting extra frames for you. But the reality is, he is literally moving slower and clumsier than everyone else.
Yeah. With literally clunkier
Hell, he isn't. I was like, that's one of the most brilliant things I've ever heard. I want to know who figured that out. Who sat down and let's do this. And
I just, man, in the fact, somebody broke it down. It's that the first real choice that Miles makes for himself is to be Spider-Man in the entire movie. If you look at it,
mm-hmm.
When I went back and rewatched it after reading this article, I was just every other choice is influenced or demanded from everybody else. And it's shown best by by the conversation that his dad has with him on the other side of the door.
I remember the thread you're talking about.
Yeah, where if you go back and watch the beginning, you know, when the dad says "I love you," he like makes Miles say it back. But you know, at this conversation, he's just like, "I love you. You don't have to say it back," giving Miles the choice, and it's just a powerful fucking scene. You know, my god, I love Into the Spider-Verse so much that I'm afraid of the sequel. I'm afraid of the sequel.
I wouldn't be. I would have been if it was coming out if it was set to come out end of this year, beginning of next year, something. When they came out and were like, we're going to do a sequel and it's going to come out 2.5 years from now, I was like, okay, good. They're sitting here saying, we don't care that we got box office hype. We're going to take the time and we're going to do this shit the way we need to do this shit.
You're just going to plow through those G-Zits.
Yeah,
you can't
they're so good.
Them.
I told you I love the way they taste, man.
Wait, you genuinely enjoy the taste of communion wafers?
Yeah.
I thought you just got it as a joke.
No.
Who enjoys the taste of communion wafers?
This guy.
That's like eating a Popeye's biscuit with none of the flavor. It's exactly as mouth-drying. That's like doing the cinnamon challenge on purpose over and over again, but without the cinnamon.
Hey, so, wow, you're gonna run out of those. You have a channel point redemption for Eat Some Jesus on your stream.
I never got that.
Reach out and touch Jesus.
So
I never got that.
We didn't get to my video game hot take.
Please.
Yes.
And we talked about this a little bit before the show. My video game hot take is that the market for vintage video games, particularly games in case and in box or cartridges or discs, is exorbitantly expensive unnecessarily. It's unnecessarily expensive because there are dozens of ways for you to play a game and for you to enjoy it that doesn't involve the cartridge or the disc or like the packaging or any of that shit.
The one counterpoint I'll say is what I brought up, which is the frustrating part is when it's extra inflated because there isn't another way, and there's no good excuse for why there isn't another way.
But Earthbound is not a rare game.
No, right. I agree with you on that one. I'm saying, that's...
I fucking love Earthbound. It is my favorite video game, but...
doesn't need to be $120 for just a loose cartridge.
It doesn't need to be $400 for the cartridge with the box and the strategy guide. It's not rare. But you see at every single fucking convention, you'll see some dude at a table selling the full package in box with the stickers, and it's like $400 for no fucking reason.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what gets me is that's where I was saying how because we were pull back the curtain, we were talking, me and Panita were talking about this for a few minutes before we started. I was bringing up how there's a game I would love to stream, Ogre Battle 64. It's wonderful. Unfortunately, the only ways you can play that game right now outside of emulation are the N64 cartridge, which is $100 to $120 for the loose cartridge, or if you downloaded it on the Wii before they shut down the original Wii's Virtual Console, you could play it on there, and there's a hilarious translation correction because of copyright reasons. We'll get to that in a second. But hey!
Hey!
Hi, Layla. Thank you for giving us 2 gift subs.
That's it. You can't even find it on the Wii U. You can't get it on the Switch. It's not on it's not on phones. It's not on Steam. Your only other option is to emulate it. And the emulation is poor because there are graphical issues because it specifically wants certain hardware. If Nintendo was to re-release it tomorrow on the Switch eShop for $20 a pop, not even update the game, just say Ogre Battle 64, running smoothly on next-gen hardware, $20 a pop, they would fly it into people's units. I can't tell you how many people would buy it because how many people bring it up as a great game, but you can't play it. And so then it's even more infuriating that it's only $120 for a loose cartridge, or just play the thing messed up. I'm bringing up Ogre Battle 64 for the Nintendo 64. And real quick, what I was saying, hilarious translation thing. So there's different types of weapons in that game, and among them are two-handed swords. And one of the two-handed swords in the N64 translation is Glamdring, Gandalf's sword from Lord of the Rings. Well, they didn't want to get sued when they put it on the Wii because it's coming to a more modern convert. So they renamed it. Everything else in the game is exactly the same. They changed that one name. And they changed that one name from Glamdring to Slambring. I'm not even making that shit up. Slambring. It's the best. I literally wish I had a Wii copy just so I could kept that weapon over and over again. Because Slambring. Bring the slam!
Wow, Rowan. Yes, we have done intros. We did them. Thank you very much. 30 minutes into the stream, I'll have you know.
How dare you come here and question our professionalism? Jeez.
Slambring is an excellent weapon name, and it is exactly how you spelled it. There's no like hidden H. There's no apostrophe, no accent aigu over the I. It's Slambring. That was the name they came up with because no one thought, hey, maybe just name it something else. There's a lot out there. Negative.
It sounds like a great wrestler name, though.
Doesn't it, though?
I am the Slambring. I bring the slam.
Absolutely.
Or it would be a good name for a wrestling promotion, would be Slambring. Like a wrestling promotion or like a pay-per-view.
Oh, an event. Okay.
Yeah.
I was sitting here like, and then I caught up. My
or a good name for a Dwarven
old
Paladin.
brain caught up. Slambring the Dwarven Paladin. Hold on. I gotta go sign back up for WoW real quick so that I can.
Wait, why are you signing up for WoW?
Because I can make that character.
No.
Slambring the Dwarven Paladin.
I don't know how I got into WoW when I was
delivered from the curse of WoW. Sorry.
Guild Wars is the one that really took my soul, though. Oh, Guild Wars 2.
I never was able to get into Guild Wars, and I think that's because of the fact that it was like, I don't know, someone told me you could only get to level 20, and I was like, or, and they were like, yeah. And then someone else was like, yeah, I'm a sorcerer, and I tank, and I was like, I don't like any of the words I'm hearing. They're all making me mad.
So I bought Final Fantasy 14, I guess is the MMO. I don't remember.
Yes,
okay, we will fight about this one. Go on.
I bought it and I installed it, and the registration process is such a pain in the ass that I was just like, fuck this. Fuck this. Fair. I'm not. But
I will tell you, since I was like in high school and I got hooked on WoW, the only MMO to truly catch me was FF14. And that's because of the fact that, yeah, for fans of the series, you get all the references and this, that, or the other. But even beyond that, in its own right, it is genuinely a well-made game with a great story. And you get more out of it if you're a fan of Final Fantasy.
Hot take. Final Fantasy XI is still dear to me.
It's a good game.
It's a good game.
You're not the only one that don't say that.
Hot take. Final Fantasy X is the best Final Fantasy, and I'll hear nothing else.
Nope.
No.
Sorry.
Hot take it's not. Hot take it's not.
What I said.
Because here's the thing. A lot of people bring up 10. Hot take it's not. I'm sorry. We're going to fight about this. You're not going to convince me. You're not going to convince me. You're not going to convince me that the greatest game. You're not going to convince me that the greatest game in this series is a dream brought over by a dead guy to a bichromatic trick hanging out with a surfer, a dominatrix.
Which one's your favorite?
And a kitty to go fight the Dream's dad.
Blitzball is better than your favorite Final Fantasy.
And the thing is, I didn't make up anything I just said.
No, that's all the plot.
That is literally the plot. A dream is brought over by a dead guy to help a chick with different colored eyes, a surfer, a dominatrix, jailbait.
First off, you're not gonna talk about these queens like that.
Go fight the dream's dad and Jesus, and along the way, we gotta listen to a whole lot of racism
to be disrespecting.
Okay. That's A.
Blitzball is better than your favorite Final Fantasy.
Go fight your whale, Dad.
The whole game.
Let me also say this. I want to preface to everyone who's confused. I actually love Final Fantasy X. It's just not my favorite. But I do love Final Fantasy X. That's specifically why I am qualified to make fun of it. Because I'm also the same guy who, when people just play the Titus laughing thing, I'll be like, listen, in context, the scene makes sense.
Yes.
In context, it's supposed to sound like
Orin is better than Cloud.
Because they're walking to their literal death.
Orin is better than Cloud. Jan is better than Sephiroth.
Oh, you're wrong there, though. But that's
I'm right, you motherfucker.
You're wrong there. But that's
Lightning is trash.
You're especially wrong there.
We'll do our rankings of Final Fantasies. Go.
Okay. I don't think I can do a whole
everything else.
We'll do your top 5 Final Fantasies.
If I had to pick a genuine favorite, okay. I know my top 5, like, as far as the actual games. I just don't know. I don't know about the order.
Reasons. There's different things that I like out of different Final Fantasy games.
My top 5 are gonna be for various reasons, and I'd have to work to put them in order, but my actual top 5 are gonna be in no particular order for sure. 9, 7, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
You don't even got 10 in the top 5. You out of your fucking
It's not
mind.
A shot. It's not a shot.
You out of your fucking mind. Get the fuck out of here.
Listen, you gotta understand.
I'm not. Get this guy off of
our show. 4 is the game that made me fall in love with RPGs as a genre. God. It wasn't my first one, but it was the game that, because of the age I was at and because of its accessibility and everything, just clicked, just hit with me. 6, I also had as a kid, and that one just blew my mind, and I didn't know how anything could surpass that, and I still love it to this day. I went back and replayed it, and there's so many things it does right versus other RPGs. Most notably, it stands out for having this massive cast, but every member of the cast still means something and has importance and has points. I don't think they're all even, and I can get into issues there, but it does well making each of them matter. And I will add, I'm not counting spin-offs like 10-2 or Tactics or any of that. I'm just talking mainline.
Well, 10-2 is trash. I love 10.
Wrong.
Oh
10-2. The story is no. The story's bad. I'm not saying the story is good. I'm not saying the story is good. The story's not. The story did so much wrong. But the gameplay is some of the most fun Final Fantasies ever had.
Get the fuck out of here!
If it was named anything other than Dress Spheres, you wouldn't talk about that. If it was anything other than girls playing dress up.
If it was a job system, you'd be fine.
If it was the job system, everyone would love it. If they just called it Job Spheres. If they just called it Job Spheres, everyone would love it.
Oh my god.
It's incredible. But neither there nor there. So that's 4 and 6. 7, I have gone back and replayed so many times. And I know that the 10-2 story is trash. I was saying the game is not trash. I was saying the gameplay
is trash because the story is trash.
No, the gameplay is wonderful. The gameplay supersedes the story. 7, I've connected with. It's just I know it's overhyped. I know it's overrated. I could personally write an essay on all the problems with that game and how easily you could break it. But damn it, as a kid, I have such fond memories of it. I got it as a birthday gift, and like me and my best friends sitting and playing this game, and we named the characters after ourselves, and we took turns, and it was a thing. 9 is just it's probably my favorite. Like, if I had to pick one, it's just something so beautiful and powerful about the story and its presentation, and the fact that its presentation and graphics hold up to this day because they were so stylized. And then 5, I don't think it's better than the other ones I mentioned as far as the game, and it has so many problems. But because of the job system and doing stuff like there's a yearly event people do called the 4-Job Fiesta.
I love the
where
4-Job
like
Fiesta.
I have gone back and played 5 so many times. I don't think I could make the list fairly without including it because I've just played it so many damn times. I've beaten 5 at least half dozen times, if not more. So I have to be honest. And yeah, X-Death is the best villain name.
Agreed.
X-Death. The only, like, what more could you do? What, a letter and the word death. Who is that? That's G, Grim Reaper.
Okay, Noir, go for your list. Top 5.
Noir ain't doing shit. You motherfuckers.
I knew what I did when I asked the question. I know what I did.
Out of your fucking mind. Alright. Final Fantasy X, obviously. That's on the list.
Okay.
Final Fantasy VI.
Okay.
It was pretty solid.
Legit.
Final Fantasy VII, just because it was my first one.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones that I kind of liked. Like
Okay.
Final Fantasy IX, I was not a fan of.
9 is
Final Fantasy, what was it really? Who was it? Final Fantasy X-2 was garbage.
It wasn't, but that's fine.
It was. We need to go save Titus. No, the entire point of the fucking first story. You know what? Not gonna get.
You're right. No, finish that sentence. The entire point of the fucking first story was he didn't exist. He's a dream.
Exactly. That's dope.
You're gonna defend that game as the best?
Yes, the fuck I am.
Please name a movie for me right now. One movie, one individual movie where you get to the end and you find out it was all a dream and you're like, I'm okay with this.
Give you a game.
You can't.
Final Fantasy X.
You can't.
The world needed a hero so much it made one. It made a hero because it needed one.
I don't care what movie it is.
Fuck you. That's dope.
Repo Man.
Oh my god, you.
Repo Man. We get to the end and it's like, oh, Jude Law survived. Him and Forrest.
First off, if we talking Repo Man and you bring up Jude Law, I already question your taste. The only real Repo Man was Rupert. No, the dude that played Giles. He's the only real Repo Man. Don't you come here with that fucking Jude Law bullshit.
Yeah,
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
That's my point, is I saw that movie in theaters and I was like, okay, it's ending positively. It was a fine action flick. And I'm not going to sit here and rave the world about it, but it's a fine action flick. And what's a dream?
It could be dope if it's pulled off right. If Final Fantasy X pulled it off right. How dare you, sir? How dare you? And then Final Fantasy II comes in and they're just like, it's a dream. I mean, let's go save him. We got a message in some kind of weird sphere and we need to have a fucking unnecessary goddamn sequel to go find the dude that's not even supposed to be real.
Which one had the best Sid?
I can tell you which one had the best Sid, but y'all not gonna like
7.
my answer.
7 has best Sid. Flawed protagonist.
He's playable, but listen, as an adult now, like, seeing that he's just abusive as shit, I'm like...
He's abusive as shit, but he's also had a lot of downs, like, this. He's been beaten a lot by life. He's had the shit kicked out of him by life.
I do want to see what they do with him in the remake, moving forward.
Final Fantasy 15 had the best scene.
I actually wouldn't argue with you there. I think that's I was torn. I was like, I think that's honestly in discussion. Look, I like 15. I think it's great. I think 15 is great. So many people hate it, and I'm like, I mean, it's not a turn-based RPG, but it's still good. A has nothing to do with B. Mm-hmm. Just go in expecting an action RPG. If you go in expecting, okay, this is gonna be like if Kingdom Hearts didn't have Disney characters, you're fine.
Final Fantasy 15, Himbo Road Trip.
That's literally all it is.
Yeah.
Himbo Road Trip.
No, do you just love Final Fantasy X for the nostalgia? No! I love it because it's the best Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 15 is the Britney Spears movie Driving in Cars with Boys, but without Britney Spears. You're just driving in cars with boys. I don't know if anyone's going to get that reference, but I was proud of thinking of that, and so I'm going to stick with it.
So my list is...
And despite what chat says, I'm going to cut you off. You're not allowed to make Chrono Trigger the number one on your list. It has its own special place.
Chrono Trigger's its own beautiful game.
Is Chrono Trigger a Final Fantasy?
It's a
Chrono. It was made by Square.
Oh, it's made by Square Enix.
We're not fucking doing that. We said Final Fantasy.
Right? No. A lot of people joke that it's like the best Final Fantasy because it came out during the Square Golden Age and on the Super Nintendo, and it's a JRPG. But
okay, so my list is Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy 9, 6, 7, and 12.
So the only real deviation for you and me is like 4 and 12, which I love 12, but.
So you just gonna ignore 10 right in front of me like this.
10 gets an honorable mention.
Final Fantasy 10 had the best music out of all the Final Fantasies too, and I don't give a fuck what nobody says.
You're allowed to be wrong.
Because Anakin alone is a better theme than everybody.
Nope. If we're gonna talk about a combat theme, okay, you want to know what wins for the combat theme?
What wins for the combat?
Motherfucking 13. Now, there's the fact that my wife has ruined it for me, and now I can't hear the theme from 13 without thinking of Dreamgirls. But
8 did have a fucking great soundtrack though.
Wow.
I
just came here to be so wrong today in front of the whole internet.
Yeah.
Man with the Machine Gun is on the short list of best Final Fantasy.
Did y'all just wake up and decide I want to embarrass myself in front of the internet by being this wrong? Is that what y'all did? I expected this from him, but you, Anita.
Here's my Final Fantasy hot take. Final Fantasy 9 would be the perfect game if it had 8's soundtrack.
So here's my only thing here. I don't know that would work. Just if you're talking about the style of the soundtrack, maybe.
Wow.
I don't know if that would work because of the tone of the game.
I think. Okay. Here, well, I'll amend that. 9 would be better if the soundtrack was properly produced.
Wow.
Because a lot of 9's music is a very repetitive, like MIDI style music, and I know that's kind of the theme they were going for when they were trying to replicate. They were trying to replicate 1.
That's what I was saying. I think it's more of a tone thing because the difference is. Here's my problem with 8. I have several problems with 8, I have several problems with 8. But the problem with 8 is 8, the best way I can describe it, 8 takes itself way too seriously.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Just way too seriously.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so hold on. Here we go. The 5 best RPGs in general. Let's go.
Okay.
Do action RPGs count towards that?
Yes. Any kind of, if it's an RPG, it counts.
Okay.
Ooh, okay, that makes it harder. I know my number 1. I just need
Neverwinter Nights.
Okay.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Age. Inquisition.
I was about to say he's torn on which entry he wants to put here.
It's a toughie. It was gonna be either Origins or Inquisition. Mass Effect.
I liked Dragon Age
Mass Effect 2.
2. I'm not saying it's as
Mass
good.
Effect
I liked
2.
Yep.
And I'm gonna catch. I know this is gonna be a controversial pick, but no, I can't go this deep into BioWare. Even though I love BioWare, even though, I don't know. Oh, this is gonna be a toughie. This last one. I gotta go with Divinity Original Sin 2. That game is it's so much. There's so much. It's like the perfect game. I'm sorry. So those are my 5, and I'll fight anybody who disagrees.
Okay. I'll go Chrono Trigger. We're gonna go Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild has recently edged out Link to the Past for me.
That's fair.
Recently.
You know what? I can't even be mad at you about that. I mean, like, I've got an argument, but we'll get to it once you're done. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, I think the reason why a lot of people put Final Fantasy VII so high on their list is for nostalgia purposes. That's another one of my hot takes.
I'm about to say the same thing about Chrono Trigger, and motherfuckers finna get mad.
Nope. Same as her. I played every version since it came out. Nope.
I don't give a fuck. It's not that great.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let's see. So, Chrono Trigger, Breath of the Wild, recently beat that out. I'm gonna go with a weird one. I'm gonna go Twisted Tales of Spike McFang. Yeah? Yeah?
Someone else knows that game exists?
That's the fucking great
I
game.
fucking love Spike McFang!
Yeah.
I played that on stream last year!
Yeah, it's a fucking good game.
It's awesome!
It's
I
the
first
best
played
game.
it. It's an SNES game. I first played it when I was
I
5
can't.
or 6 years old. It was like a rip-off Zelda, but you were a little kid vampire.
A little
and you
vampire
fought
with a magic top hat and a cape.
and a cape, and you fought things by swinging your cape or by throwing your top hat.
Yeah.
Also, you had to beat an abominable snowman by giving him chicken soup.
Yeah.
I'm not making up any
No,
of this shit.
that's legit. That game was a fever dream. It was beautiful.
It's so good. That's the thing. It's so good. It's terrible, but it's so good.
Yeah. And I need two more. I'm gonna go with Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. And I'll go with which Tales game do I pick on this list? Shit.
Oh shit, the Tails game. Fuck.
I'm gonna go with I'll go with Symphonia. I'll go with Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah, Symphonia's a good one. That's
That'll be my list.
And wasn't that the 4-player one too? Like, oh god,
all of them you can do up to Symphonia because it was on Cube. You could.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think you obviously couldn't on like Fantasia because it was SNES.
I remember
GBA.
getting high and playing Symphonia a bunch with my friends.
SNES
like,
did have that adapter
time.
that you could expand to more than.
I'm just trying to remember if the multi-tap worked. I know you could do 2-player on that.
Yeah, you could definitely.
I don't
do
think you could do 4. Is all.
Yeah. Hot take: Star Ocean is better than any Tales game. I'm just real quick. I'm gonna do a quick Google on how to divorce a spouse.
So
Cheap divorce.
I agree with Jamie.
Oh, let's get this motherfucker the fuck up out this show.
Okay, listen. I'm not saying
Listen, Star Ocean is amazing.
Single Star Ocean. I'm not saying every single Star Ocean. I'm not saying the ranking is like every Star Ocean game and then every Tales game. But I'm saying if you're talking about it like high point for high point, I would pick Star Ocean over Tales. And both of them have the same sort of, it's an RPG, but you're actively pushing buttons in combat thing. So that's why I get the comparison point. Like I'm saying,
you know what? Fuck. Yeah. You know what? Sphinx, you pull out a
but
good
I
point.
like
Ultimate
the
Alliance
sci-fi.
is a good. Ultimate Alliance is a good one.
Ooh, the first Ultimate Alliance. Yo, I put so much time into that.
I put so much time into that shit.
So much.
You know how mad I am that they took it off every marketplace and you can't buy it anymore?
Here's one that I hate, like the precursor Ultimate Alliance, X-Men Legends and X-Men Legends 2.
Oh my god, they were so
Legends
good.
2. X-Men Legends 2, oh my god, I put so many hours into that, even if the game was a busted mess.
Bro, with Cyclops, your Optic Blast would go through
Cyclops
so many
and
walls.
then Gambit. Because Gambit's my favorite. And what I loved is that he's my favorite and he's broken.
X-Men hot
Legends
take,
2.
Gambit is trash.
I'm sorry that having real character development bugs you. Forgive me. Sure, we should hang out with your lame-ass dude in his sunglasses. Fucking forgive me. Forgive me. Truly, the greatest hero was Ray-Bans McGee.
This is the hot take episode of Morning Ritual. Piping hot.
Anyways.
Takes.
What's Cyclops is better than Gambit, and I can explain why.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I guess he is. Yes, he is, and I can explain why.
Because you want to know what's the difference? Gambit could have basically any woman he wants, except the woman he wants.
Okay. So?
Meanwhile, Cyclops can't, unless he's suddenly agreed to be in some sort of poly-tri situation that I wasn't made aware of.
Cyclops was a dude that was caught in a toxic relationship, had to break free, and then he had to learn to love himself, and then he was able to love Emma Frost. So if you coming at him on the relationship side, Scott Summers got you beat.
Also, he's vanilla. I'm not talking about like skin tone. I mean like as a character.
Well, that too, but also.
I mean like as a skin tone.
Have you read the recent stuff
I've seen him have some good moments. I'm not saying Cyclops hasn't had good moments, but I'm saying, for instance, the prodigal son storyline for Gambit will supersede damn near anything I could think of with Cyclops. Just as a for instance off the top of my head. For those who don't see it, basically, Gambit at one point ends up losing his powers, goes off, ends up finding them. Then an alternate world version of him, who he doesn't know it's an alternate world version of him at first, comes up called the Prodigal Son, and is like, yeah, I gotta fucking kill you now. Why? Well, because in my timeline, my powers went nuts.
One
and
day,
at their apex,
the world will
I
give
fried
Scott Summers
the entire
the
galaxy.
That he deserves.
Because at his apex, he's an Omega level mutant. He's held back by himself.
One day, the world will see
at Cyclops' apex. He's
was
pew pew,
right.
pew 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 pew.
Cyclops in the 4-player arcade game was amazing, according to Jamie.
The old school X-Men arcade game, the beat 'em up.
Wasn't that a 6-player game?
There were. I think there was a 6-player variant.
Yeah,
I know there was 2 and 4. I don't remember if there was. Yeah, there was 6.
Yeah,
I know
there
was
a
6-player.
campaign.
There was Cyclops, Colossus, Storm, Wolverine, Nightcrawler,
Kitty Pryde.
And Kitty Pryde.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was Jubilee, but Kitty Pryde.
Fun story.
Yeah, that was a
worked
good
with
game.
Kitty Pryde, the actual person that character is based off of.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let me.
I'm
still dodged on my list.
Yeah.
You know
what's your
what?
list now?
Let me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to take one thing back because I might have overstepped my bounds.
Okay.
Gambit is not trash. He's overrated to death, but
fine.
he's not trash.
Okay.
You're allowed to be wrong. Okay. So.
Noir actually took something back on stream.
Okay.
Someone please click that.
So, RPGs, top 5.
It's because I love my XB.
My problem is I know my number 1 because it's my number 1 game.
What's your number 1?
And then from everything else there, I'd have to fill it in. I'm going to go 2 through 5 to raise suspense. Because I'm a jackass like that.
I'm not
so 2 through 5 in no particular order. I'm not really ranking them. Just
okay.
What's going on, Malkuth? Good to see you. So Breath of Fire 3 is going to be on there.
Shit, I forgot about the Breath of Fire games. Motherfuck.
I played that on stream just this year. The Dragon Gene system, I'm always going to love what you can do with that shit. And the Master system to really customize characters. Chrono Trigger is going to be on there. You opening up action RPGs really...
Fuck this day.
I think I would have to do Knights of the Old Republic and then...
1 or 2?
1. I liked 2, and it's really good
cool.
with the if you have it on Steam with the restoration mod, it's like an all new experience. It's worth a replay if you haven't done it. But one just nails it.
One hit the sweet spot.
One, I can't, even if there's a character I'm like, grr, I can't say I hate any character. Like, even if I find flaws with them. Like, Karth. I know he's an asshole, but I like him. I can't help it. Okay? Bastila. even if she can be a little just grating on my... I like her. I can't help it. It also has Jolie Bindo, who's
dick.
Such a badass. And yeah, the whole... When you get to the end and you're like... for the first time and you're just like... I'm sorry, what?
For real, me?
We can spoil this. The game is like almost 20 years old. It's 27 years old.
Yeah.
We can probably
yeah,
spoil this.
The two main bad guys, the two main Sith everyone's been fighting about are Revan and Malak. And you come to find out you were Revan the whole time. But the game, I think, really does handle it well because you don't start... So in the second game, you start as a Jedi. Like, when you pick your class, you start as a Jedi. In this first game, you don't start as a Jedi.
You're just a dude.
You're a soldier, or you're a scout, or a scoundrel. You got a blaster at your side. You're figuring shit out as you go. And then all of a sudden, eventually, they're like, you're force sensitive. And so, because of how it played that out, it throws you off. And then when you find out you're Revan...
Shit gets wild. And you can lean in. So the thing I love about that, though, is once you find out that that's who you are, you can really lean into it.
Oh, yeah. So those... I think I'm gonna include the original Paper Mario in within that top 5 because I have so much nostalgia for. I know it's nostalgia, but it's the humor, the wit, just the whole playing.
I think that might be the only reason why Breath of Fire 1 didn't make my list, is because Breath of Fire 1 was the first RPG, the first turn-based RPG that
Here's my thing. I'm going to tell you now, I'm not trying to be a jerk. There you go. I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's nostalgia. I would know because I also played it as a young kid. Went back to play it when it was on the Switch, on the on Nintendo Online. I was like, okay, I get to, this shit is slow and clunky.
Oh yeah, it's so fucking
I've
slow.
never played a Breath of Fire game.
Going through...
if you do play 2, I don't think is as good as 3 and 4, but 2 is still very good. It's worth a playthrough. It's not amazing, but it's still worth playing. 3 and 4 are excellent. Just skip 1.
I forgot about Super Mario RPG. That's also on my list.
But I think it's going to be a toss-up for Super Mario RPG for me.
Is a better game than Super Mario RPG.
I don't know. Like I said, it's going to be a toss-up for me between Paper Mario and Super Mario RPG altogether. My number 1 is my number 1 game of all time. That's Suikoden 2. I will fight someone over that game.
Suikoden 2 is
What the fuck is
Suikoden 2. Okay, so let me take you back a few many years.
Okay,
Back when Konami made games. Yeah. So for the PlayStation 1, Konami actually had an RPG series dating back to the PlayStation 1 called Suikoden. It's based on the classic Chinese novel, The Water Margin, which has to do with a whole story of war and the 108 stars of destiny. Specifically, the 72 stars of Earth and the 36 stars of heaven. Yes, I know all this shit even though I don't have to. I told you, it's my favorite fucking game. It's an RPG, a turn-based RPG, at least the mainline games were. There was 1 through 5, and then there were various spin-offs, where you can recruit up to 108 different individual characters. But for all but one of the mainline games, you have 6 people in your party. But the thing is, it's not just an RPG. The backdrop of the story is always a war. So while there are RPG things, you're also at war. So every one of the games will have some sort of war-based battle system with armies clashing, as well as individual duels. And you'll have some sort of a headquarters that not every character is for fighting. Some of the characters you'll find a merchant, a blacksmith, someone to run your inn, people who can grow vegetables, whatever. And they all have different effects and things they build up to. Number 2, let me tell you, the story to this day gets me. Like, I think about certain stories. Before I actually managed to get my hands on a PlayStation 5, my plan was to end this year playing Suikoden 1 into Suikoden 2, because one of the things was you could actually transfer your save data from 1 to 2 and from 2 to 3. And it would affect little things like the names of characters in the game, like the main character that you could rename. You could carry over some stat bonuses, some items, things like that. I was gonna do number 1 into number 2 because number 1 would take me like 2 weeks. Number 2 would take me like a month plus. I'm gonna do that at some point next year. But my good God,
I have a heart like, and this is where I'm probably gonna lose whatever respect people have left for me. Which is I have a hard time going back and playing retro games. Like
it's fine.
I don't have that mindset. It takes a very special game for me to be willing to go back. Like I will go back and play like something like Bushido Blade because there's no modern day version of
which Bushido Blade's a good game, but so
but
like
for RPGs, I can't do it.
So it's because of how much that it brings to the table. Now, what I will say is, Suikoden 2, the first 2 games used sprite-based graphics. 3, 4, and 5 went to like 3D because that's when it shifted to the PlayStation 2. And so it went to like polygons. But for number 2, they had really, really refined and perfected the sprites to where, like, if you play something nowadays like Octopath Traveler, I would put some of the sprite work in 2 up to some of the sprite work in Octopath and things like that. Like it is that good because they really worked on perfecting things. Octopath Traveler is a game. It came out on the Switch 2 years ago,
2 or 3 years ago. Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago, somewhere around there. And it's supposed to be like a classic RPG adventure, but made slightly modern. So it's got retro-esque sprites, but there's 3D parallax scrolling. There's a lot of heavy detail and everything. It's basically Square's way of saying, hey, we can still make RPGs like we used to. We're just not going to do it with Final Fantasy anymore.
Yeah.
I just want to take a second to appreciate. I want to say thank you, Jamie, for taking some of the heat off me. In chat, Jamie had a hot take that the Persona games are subpar, and chat is having a conversation about it.
Yeah, you're allowed to be wrong. You're allowed. It's okay. I will say Persona 1 is a terrible introduction to that series. I played it.
I'll say this much about the Persona series. I have not played them myself, but I can tell you that Persona fans are fucking annoying.
Yes, we are. We're the worst.
It's just something about that fan base that just irks me.
But I will say this, jokes aside. Now there's 2 parts of this. One, jokes aside, I can totally understand someone not getting it because of the aesthetic, the whole high school students fighting against adults and things that we gotta beat up the evil grown-ups, and I get that. And the other thing I can get is like, especially if you're talking Persona 4, Persona 5,
it's always Persona 5 people bring up, and I'm like...
Well, no, what I'm saying is about those games, you're not timed, but you're timed. You have X number of days where the game progresses because you're following the school calendar, and during the days, you have a limited number of actions you can do. And this includes things like going to a dungeon that's available called Mementos, for instance, in 5 to freely level up, or raising your social stats, which are stuff outside of combat to be able to communicate with people or do things, or raising your relationships with people or things like that. It's almost like the original Pikmin, in as much as it's like, you've got a limited amount of time to do shit. Go. But
the single word that you're saying is interesting.
So that's the thing. No, what I'm saying is that is where I understand people who are like, I don't like being timed.
What the fuck is going on?
So when people are like, I'm not interested because I don't like being timed, I'm like, I totally get that. I generally tell people, if you see it on a great deal, like 4 or 5, give it a try, because I think the game supersedes that, but I can totally understand being put off by that.
See, I need my sales pitch to be simple. Like if somebody's like, why should I play Mass Effect? You want to feel like Captain Picard or like fucking James T. Kirk? You just fuck
if
shit
I'm
up.
If I'm gonna give you a sales pitch on Persona 5, it would be this. Have you ever played Beautiful Joe?
Yes.
Or
yes, and I hated it.
Go back to that. Okay, I'm not talking about the gameplay. I'm just talking about the appearance and everything, though, right?
Yes, that's what I hated, because they fucking took my favorite character, Dante, and made him this weird little chibi thing And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Oh, yeah, he is available. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, when I say the style, I'm saying, if there's nothing else you could say about Beautiful Joe, you could say it's incredibly stylish.
Yes.
It's stylish, yes.
I did not think I'd ever see a game more stylish than Beautiful Joe in my life. Persona 5 proved me fucking wrong. The menus are some of the most stylish shit I've ever seen in my life.
That's fair.
The menus. Not difficult, but everything in that game oozes style, but it has plenty of substance to back it up. The only other pitch I could say is this. I am a dad. I'm very open about when they pitch to me, oh, in the new Assassin's Creed, there's 100 hours of content. That is not a sales pitch. That is a threat. You are threatening me. I ain't got time like that. My first playthrough of Persona 5, I put 100 hours into the game. Like 100 actual hours on the save timer. I do not regret a minute. I had fun the whole time. Because everything feels so organically built that you just have this, I want to see what's next. I want to see what's next. I want to see what's next. I want to see where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm
not saying you have to play it, but
I have been debating. Look, the fandom is just what's kind of keeping me from actually.
Terrible.
But who has the more obnoxious fandom? Persona or Kingdom Hearts?
Oh, Kingdom Hearts by far, because you ask them okay, what's going on with Kingdom Hearts? And then they'll tell you okay, so in Kingdom Hearts 2, this happened, and then Kingdom Hearts 2.1.4/Dreamheart Remix / Sad Boy Music. I'm like, motherfucking just no. And Kingdom Hearts 3 is garbage, and I didn't want it to be garbage when it is garbage. No. I
haven't played 3 yet.
I'd have to say the Kingdom Hearts fandom, because the difference is the Persona fandom, you'll be like, I don't like the game. And they'll be like, well, you're wrong. It's stupid. It's so good.
Did you not play the fucking remix in half?
But the Kingdom Hearts fandom, you could be like, Kingdom Hearts doesn't make sense. And they'll be like, what doesn't make sense? Terra Xehanort found the Kai Blade, which gave him the Keyblade, and through the power of darkness, became Ventus. And I only made up one thing in that sentence. Only one thing I said wasn't true.
It's like, yeah, Jamie
no, you gotta get it. No,
Jamie's
Roxas
a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, and even he doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
That's the thing. I played Kingdom Hearts since the original. I could not fucking tell you what is happening.
They lost the plot. It's over.
You have to play 7 games to get to the 3rd game.
I've never seen somebody have such a hard time going from 2 to 3. These motherfuckers, 2,
you have
2
to play
and a half,
7 games.
2 in a remix, 2
play
in a
7 games to fully understand the 3rd game. I'm not making that up. KH.
I'm watching our numbers drop as we talk shit about
recoded, Birth by Sleep, 365 over 2 days, whatever the fuck that means. Dream Drop Distance. I didn't even include 2.8 Prologus because fuck you. How are you gonna have a game called 2.8 Prologus?
And then there's the phone game too.
There's a phone game?
There's a mobile game.
Yeah, it's a gacha game. Kingdom Hearts Unchained X. Although I think the Unchained X, and again,
X is pronounced key, thank you very much.
Because it's not a normal X, it's like a real fancy X. It's the same one they pulled out in Birth by Sleep when they were like, it's the X blade. Excuse me, it's the key blade. Because X is pronounced key.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To bring this back to a more comfortable place just before we go on break, because we've been at this for about 2 hours. What is your comfort game? What is a game that you keep coming back to time and time again, and it always feels like you're coming home?
Man, it's dumb. It's pointless. I don't need to think.
You said Madden?
I can make the Bears win.
Hey, listen. Like, if that's where you find comfort, then that's where you find comfort. That's legit.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's my comfort game, but you know how many times I've gone back to like that Madden 04? You pull out Mike Vick when he was Mike Vick in Atlanta. It's a cheat code. It's a cheat code. Okay. For me,
The Last of Us 2 is your fucking comfort game? Do you need a hug?
have you ever been comfortable?
Jesus Christ.
Have you ever been comfortable? Ever? I'm not even talking about whether or not the game is good.
That's like saying you're
What I'm saying is the concept of comforts. There's a lot of things I can describe about The Last of Us 2. Comforts is
That's like saying your favorite comfort movie is Sophie's Choice.
Exactly. What's your comfort movie? Schindler's List.
You know, sometimes I just lay back and watch Roots to chill. Like that's what that sounds like to me. The Last of Us 2, it's a game, but it's not a comfort.
I'm not gonna compare Living Single to the Titanic, but I'll tell you which one I'm gonna watch first for comfort. And it involves Kyle Barker.
It's a game I
and his
played
on-again, off-again relationship with Maxine Swan.
It's a game I played in a blanket burrito chilling. What the fuck is
for
wrong
me,
with you?
if I'm
We love you, Faye.
for like a comfort game,
Yeah.
probably gonna be Super Mario World,
Okay.
the Super NES version. I can go back to that game and I'll be like, I got an hour to kill.
Link to the Past.
That's another good option. That is another good option.
Yeah.
I was torn between those two. I'll be honest.
Like, it's not a popular choice, but it's a choice, says Faye. But The Last
You know
of Us
what?
2.
I can't knock your hustle. Like, I'm just imagining the scene with Joel while you're in a fucking blanket burrito. Please don't.
Hey, listen, sometimes you need, like, that good emotional release. Sometimes you need that. Yeah, mine is definitely Link to the Past. It's if I'm feeling stressed or I'm feeling like panicky or anything like that, I'll pop on Link to the Past and I'll be like, oh yes.
I mean, like, Dead by Daylight is also starting to get up there a little bit for me.
My comfort game is Dark Souls 2, and I'm not allowed to equip any weapons.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm saying
CBT master.
Like,
right
I'm
here.
not trying, Faye, I'm not trying to attack you, but I'm just like, woo! I feel like maybe we just have different definitions of comfort. I feel like for me, comfort is like a recliner and a drink and a snack, and I'm relaxed. And I don't know, maybe for you, comfort is just like walking on hot coals while someone yells at you.
We love you.
You have
Faye.
scared us.
Faye, we love you.
You have scared us. We're very worried about you. What's a game that has made me ugly cry? Huh.
Suikoden 2.
Like, ugly cry?
I can tell you the exact moment. I can tell you the exact moment in that game. And it's one of the only games to make me cry at that.
You know what? I can tell you what's the last game that made me ugly cry. It was the Telltale Walking Dead game.
Yeah.
I
didn't cry.
I was a mess because, like, I don't know, like, I don't got kids, so, like, being able to, like, fucking play that out, like, with my little Clementine.
For me, very recently, Spiritfarer. Spiritfarer has made me ugly cry. Like,
I've heard enough about that again, I get it.
Yeah. But yeah. So, what's going on? Brothers made Kayla ugly cry.
Kayla 2 Sons? Okay.
Yeah, Malkuth, prepare to just have your heart eviscerated by that fucking beautiful, gorgeous game. Oh, it's so beautiful and fun and cute, and it's got, like, some cool minigame mechanics they built into everything about the game, and then they fucking rip your heart out of your goddamn chest.
It lives in the Ori space. Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Yeah. That's a game, it's like, oh my god, everything's so cute. You will cry. You will cry a lot.
Yeah. Or another one is Child of Light.
Oh my god.
Like the intro.
This game's cute.
The whole
and it reminds me of Grandia.
What game makes you hype? Don't make cry. Every time.
Don't cry.
It's my favorite game.
Game makes me hype. I don't know if I have a hype game.
Titanfall's another one. I just get wild on Titanfall.
Yeah, saying goodbye is hard in Spiritfarer. I've said goodbye. I've said goodbye to the deer.
Street Fighter 4.
Street Fighter 2 is a hype game? Okay.
Because let me tell you, that was Street Fighter 4 harkens back to the last era where I was really truly into fighting games, and the competitive spirit comes back out when I pick that game up, and all of a sudden I'm like, all right, let's go.
Injustice 2 is like the only fighting game where I get real competitive.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is the last game that made me super hype.
Actually, yeah. When I think about the ending of that game and what it did to me, as someone who's played the original Final Fantasy VII, I'm not going to say a word. Yeah. I'm not going to say a word. I wasn't planning to, in case people here hadn't played it. All I'm saying is, especially if you've played the original and played Crisis Core and / or seen Advent Children, to get the true maximum effect. I have a clip on my channel of me getting to the end and being like, I don't know what just happened, and all I have to say is, and then I just started shouting, Nomura! Damn it! Why didn't you finish it with this one?
Faye, we need to hear the rest of your comfort choices, because I do want to judge you.
My other comfort choices are Super Meat Boy and just getting attacked by someone with a stick.
Hey, Far Cry is actually a comfort game for me too, so that's a good one.
Far Cry's fine.
Especially 5, where you get to shoot religious extremists.
I do gotta say, I don't think comfort game necessarily needs to be easy game.
No,
you can have a comfort game where you're good and there's complexity to it, but it feels good.
Yeah. And I think with that, might be a good time for us to take a 5 or 10 minute break. We're gonna do bio stretch, get some more hydration in us. And yeah. Oh, and Ash decided to come say hi.
Kitty!
She fluff. And with that, we're gonna take a quick 5 to 10 minute break. You should all do the same. Do your bios, stretch. And we'll be back.
All right. See y'all in a bit.
Now. Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Hey, y'all.
Hello.
What's going on?
Taking a picture. What are you taking a picture of, Nor?
None of your business. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it? Okay, cool. Welcome back, everyone, to Morning Ritual, the second part of us screaming at the internet for
Part 2. All right, so
Dukes.
I'm enjoying us ranking things. I kind of want this to kind of become
that's fine
a segment. Because we touched on something, and I feel like we need to fully have this fight.
Okay.
Which are who are the best? Give me the best 5 X-Men.
Knew that was coming.
Yeah.
As soon as he said we touched on and fight, I was like, okay, here we go.
We need to finish this.
Okay.
You know what? No, I'm gonna make it harder. Give me your top 3. Top 3. Fuck 5. That's too many. Top 3 X-Men. Let's get it.
Gambit, Colossus, Nightcrawler.
Really?
You are out of your fucking mind. You are out of your fucking mind. Where the fuck is Storm? Storm, first off.
Storm is excellent. She would have been number 4.
Storm is number 1. Storm, Forge.
Ooh, Forge is a good choice.
Forge is a good choice.
Oh, who's the last? Who's the last? Storm, Forge.
Also, are we talking about like X-Men team members, or are we including villains?
No, just team members.
Okay.
I gotta go Bishop.
Oh, Bishop's good.
Storm, Forge, Bishop. Those three.
My number 5.
Those three
I always thought
alone.
Bishop was the baddest looking motherfucker back in the day.
Oh yeah, totally is.
Those 3 alone, I feel like could beat most teams.
I can dig that.
Storm and Bishop just need to stall until Forge inevitably comes up with some machine that saves the day. Like, that's really all it is.
That's the strategy.
Yeah, that's the game.
Hold them until you can do this.
So who you got, Anita?
I'm gonna go Polaris.
Okay.
We'll go.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, we'll go Storm.
That's a good one. Okay.
And we'll go Kitty Pryde.
You lost me.
She can short circuit machinery through her phasing powers. Literally can't get hit by anything. Phasing powers. Like, sorry. Gonna go with my girl.
I love Alicia. I don't want to agree with Noir, but he's also not wrong.
Yeah, I just go with the thing. Like I've already explained, Gambit's my favorite. I love Night in spot 3. I love Nightcrawler's whole story about how it's like. And granted, given Noir is here, I don't want to seem like I'm talking, like I'm trying to. It's preaching to the choir.
You're good, bro. Like we
the best way I can explain it.
We understand what the X-Men are.
Right, but especially
representing.
I guess the best way to explain it would be like Nightcrawler is like the intersection of multiple marginalizations kind of thing. And like even as a kid, I appreciate that. Like you can look at the X-Men as just a label almost. And again, I'm just broad strokes to give an idea. X-Men as a label as being like the LGBTQ label, and Nightcrawler as being black and LGBT kind of thing. Because it's like, he's not just a mutant. You can fucking tell. And you have that extra layer. And so I always loved that. And yet, he had like the most, and obviously, you know, there's a whole thing about the nobility of his spirit versus that and the whole thing. I've always loved Nightcrawler. Plus,
there's a comic strip that you would enjoy where it's Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Emma Frost, and like all of the sexy X-Men going, being a mutant is so hard. The discrimination is ridiculous. And it's just like Beast and Nightcrawler looking at each other like, these fucks.
Thanks, you are right.
Exactly.
Kitty's power can be scary if she's a bit more murderous. You face her someone's chest and you've come out with their fucking heart.
Oh yeah, listen, there's so many characters in multiple media. Someone pointed out, because they kind of showed it a little bit. Remember Captain Planet?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how Mati had the power of heart and was therefore fucking worthless? He wasn't.
Nope.
He was because he was a pacifist. Because all he did was use his power to try and connect with people and to tell when something was going on. And so all he ever actually did was like, my power, I can tell someone somewhere has something wrong. But then in one episode, they kind of showed like he managed to like use his power to make someone like walk away so they could go somewhere. And it's like, oh, so he has the power to control people. I want you to think about that for like 3.5 seconds and then have that meaning of, oh, he can
control the hearts
fuck
of
it
people.
all up if he wanted to.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just doesn't. So, yeah, no, Kitty Pryde could brutalize people.
Yeah.
If you could have 3 characters' power sets, who would you pick?
Ooh.
We'll keep it in the X-Men universe.
Okay.
Just to make it simple.
I would say Nightcrawler over like a Quicksilver or something to that effect, because while super speed might technically be more useful, I'm lazy and I would rather teleport.
Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather be like, oh, my shirt's over there. Grab it. Back.
I would go with Blink's powers over Nightcrawler's, though.
But yeah, teleportation.
It is. It's just
That's fair.
the projected
That's fair.
and then the run through.
See, for anytime anybody picks Wolverine, I'm just like, you do know that you would just get the healing factor and the bone claws.
You wouldn't get the
You don't get the
adamantium.
adamant.
Right. I think Wolverine might still apply just because of the healing, but the problem is...
I'd much rather go with Deadpool's healing. It's much better than Wolverine's.
So my thing basically boils down to, I don't know that I want healing. Because inevitably, with healing, when you start trying to real world it, eventually you have to come to the point of healing factor inevitably leads to don't age, and there's been plenty enough literature about the pratfalls of immortality that I'm good.
I'm gonna go, if we want to do healing, but we don't want to do healing factor, you could do elixir.
That would be fair. Like something with an actual healing
ability,
power.
like a healing touch.
All right, I'm going Mystique
because I'm always hot.
I'm going Mystique, Emma Frost.
If he tries to work in a power that allows him to multiply himself, he's just trying to bang himself. I just need everybody to know that right now.
Get out of my head. No, Mystique.
Get out of my head, Charles!
Emma Frost and this last, it's the doozy. It's the doozy because I could be cheap, and I kind of want to be cheap.
I mean,
so I want to be cheap, and I'm gonna pick
Rogue.
No. I was gonna say Onslaught.
Oh, fuck you.
No, but instead I'm gonna say Apocalypse.
That's the same choice! You're right, I'm not gonna go with the one because it's overpowered. Instead, I'm gonna pick the thing that is the literal brain baby between Professor X and Magneto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Apocalypse instead.
But
I control my mask.
That's a real thing
for
those who don't know.
Onslaught. It's fucking bananas. But now I control my mass and my molecular structure, as well as my DNA. I can pretty much give myself powers or give anybody else powers. I can change my shape and also have telepathic abilities. It could turn diamond.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that just also be like Mr. Sinister? Doesn't Mr. Sinister have that power to just imbue people with mutant powers?
Yeah, but he has to I don't know. I don't like.
Well, that's also why usually when we have these conversations, if we're talking like Marvel as a whole, because you would immediately shut it into X-Men. I was like, okay, I got to think about it, because usually I'm like, all right, well, first of all, Silver Surfer.
Oh,
because then I have the power.
I'm going Galactus. Fuck
it. Well, no, Silver Surfer, because with the power of Cosmic, I can just do whatever the fuck I want.
I want to be able to bestow the power Cosmic. Like, yo, me and all my friends.
That's fair.
Like, I'm about to make all my friends heralds.
All my homies got the power Cosmic.
You know how dope it'd be to just wake up one day and be like, I feel like all black people should have the power Cosmic.
I saw one thing someone showed. There's actual, on the Marvel website, there are these statues you can buy. They're called the Galactic Guardians or something like that. And it's the Silver Surfer, Orin Rad, and then I'm blanking on her name, but the golden woman who's the
Alicia,
equivalent.
good job.
And it's like, someone was like, can we just admit that Galactus was just really horny? He's like, you will be my herald. All right, do I get a cool costume? You will be butt-ass naked, covered in silver.
But here, have a surfboard.
Booty cheeks showing for the world. What?
Somebody fucked me up today.
Like, just two naked people floating around in silver and gold, like...
Yeah. Somebody fucked me up today on a Twitter post. I saw it, and it read that Batman's power is white privilege and police brutality.
Yep.
And, like, I have not been able to look at him the same since.
That's absolutely what it is. Man, people have been talking about that. It's like, what do you think the opening right here is for?
To let you know.
To let you know it's a white dude. Terrible.
Ash, please.
It's true, though.
Oh my god.
No, yeah, there's a lot of here where you stop thinking. I remember I saw one post and it was like, you wake up as Superman. What's the first thing you do? And someone commented, go to sleep and see if I wake up as Batman. And someone else is like, you're right. Because if you woke up with the power to fundamentally control all of humanity because you had no physical limitations, what you should want to do is go to sleep and hope you wake up as a poorly adjusted orphan. I was like, you're not wrong.
I mean, but if you did wake up as Superman, what is the first thing that you're doing?
Flying.
Legit.
I mean,
gotta test this shit out.
I mean, I would also test out the flying, but I wouldn't go higher than 10 feet. Like, just
no,
in
I
case.
fly for real, and then when I realize, like, oh shoot, this is happening, I have these powers. The next thing I do is I find some way to test whether I'm actually bulletproof, and assuming I do, I think I take one for the team, and there's a certain piece of trash that has to be taken out in DC.
Come here.
And if you'll excuse me, I'll be right back. Gonna plow through a building. All right, bye.
Are you shooting yourself in the foot to test your bulletproofness?
I don't know that I trust myself to do that. Like, I'm gonna keep being like, I know I've seen these other powers, but it's gonna hurt.
There are two methods of thought. Yours is find a way to test out if you're bulletproof. Punkle's is hit the chicken nuggies with the heat vision.
That's a good. See, here's my problem though. I would be like, let me test these other powers. Be like, okay, I got heat vision. Okay, I've got the cold breath. Okay.
Heat the chicken nuggets.
But if I have everything
breath.
except bulletproof, this is gonna really hurt. I'm gonna shoot myself. I don't want to do that.
I mean, you could start with like stabbing yourself with a knife, I guess, if you felt like it. You didn't have.
But
to test the
again, if
bulletproof
it
part.
doesn't, what if I'm not immune to it? Then I just stabbed myself with a knife. And if I'm super strong, I know it's going through.
Well, I mean, you could start with something small like a fork in your thigh or something like that.
You understand, I'm just going to let you know, there's no amount of making it a smaller puncture wound that's not going to hurt.
That's
that
fair.
I'm going to be okay with.
Here's
like,
how I
just go get a booster shot at the doctor. And it'd be like, but it's a needle. I don't like needles.
Here's how I would test it. I would just go to the nearest bar and talk wild brazy. Like, let's test this out. Like, I don't
get
know.
a tattoo.
Yeah, but then when they break every needle in the shop and they charge me money for it.
Well, as soon as they try it with the
thing.
first one, and then you know.
That's the thing. That is the one advantage power that Batman has, not having to care about rent.
Yeah, that's true.
Superman only doesn't have to care about rent because he's got his damn fortress of all being alone in the ice.
Don't be sad. Go get a tattoo.
Oh my god! I would just
his dad was literally like, "I've built this iceberg for you."
I would just drive so fast without any care, and then I get pulled over. Like, you know how fast you were going? I'm like, bitch. You really want to do this shit?
How long has he been working on this? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. How long has he been working on that? Because he's had them glasses on for a bit. I know this has been planned. I know this man.
He's probably just.
What are you talking about?
Well, we were debating. He was probably looking up the filter on Snapcam and then just hit the.
Oh no, I've had this. This is Lorenzo's going vamp mode.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Snap. So I have this on call all the time.
Speaking of noir characters.
Oh no, here we go.
Do I tell the story now?
I mean, if you want to.
If you want to tell the story.
Let me tell the stories for everyone about the game me and Noir played together. Technically, the first game me and Noir played together. So for Chromatic Chimera, this was DM'd by the fictional historian. It was a Lancer campaign. Noir and I both made it in. Prior to any casting being announced, I was in the Chromatic Chimera Discord, and I was like, yo, I totally want to do a game where I team up with someone, and we basically make our characters Billy and Jimmy from Double Dragon. Noah was like, that would totally be hype. I'll join you in that. No questions asked. Da-da-da-da. Okay, cool. Game comes, fictional reaches out to people, tries to find who's going to be in the game, ends up having both of us in the game. So I reached out and I was like, remember when we said the Double Dragon thing? And he was like, I'm still in it. It's like, okay, cool. So we became William and James Lee. Billy and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Our call signs were Neon and Shadowfall, as in Double Dragon 5, the Shadowfall, and Double Dragon Neon. Mm-hmm. We were brothers. No one ever ended up catching on to it, unless we told it was great. But, so, we get to the first session of the game, and we're like flying down to this planet. And to give you an idea how well established of what Noir was, we're in our robots, because the whole thing is like mech combat. We're in our mechs, like holding onto some rocket, heading down to a planet, and he's like, I'll race y'all there, and just let's go, and like charges down with his boosters. So there you go. But then we continue. We had to do a thing where we had to get some information from some building repository outside of combat. And the plan ended up being, for whatever reason, that Noir's going to be the decoy. Mm-hmm. So Noir puts together his costume to be the decoy.
So just to fully flesh this out, there is
we are so far into the future, by the way.
Yes. We are very far into the future, and there's a hidden rebellion that's happening on this planet that's going against our military. And the hardest part about dealing with this rebellion is finding it, because you go to everybody and they're like, oh no, we love the government. Everything's fine with the government.
It was very, there is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah. So, I had my hunches as to where the rebellion was. And, I got some intel that there is a bar where some known rebels were hiding. So my plan was to go in disguise as a disgruntled, worker, and just talk about how unhappy I am with the government in the hopes that somebody would recruit me for the rebellion.
And his decoy name was Walter Concrete.
And that's the way it is.
And the motherfucker succeeded. Is the thing I'm still not okay with. But then we left from that scenario, and we're trying to get back to our base, and we got accosted by some people. And we managed to disable them, and then my brother was like a tech guru, so I was like, I installed a special thing to where, and I even had it mechanically to where I had an AI on my machine to where I could get it to come to me and whatnot. The AI was very max headroom, 20 minutes into the future. And I summoned the thing up to come to basically be muscle to save us. And along the way, it managed to crush so many cop cars and vehicles and caused just the biggest ruckus, and we ended up in jail right after Walter Cronkite succeeded.
That's the way it is.
This campaign was also cursed due to the fact that anytime we tried to drive anywhere, we failed. We did fine in combat. Our mechs did fine in combat, but if you gave us a car to drive somewhere, we failed the roll.
I need to explain something.
1 and a 3.
I think that's my fault, because every RPG I have played that has drive as a skill, I always fail. Always.
So
always,
and that ended up spreading. So no matter who was like, I'll drive this time, roll 2. I'll drive this time, roll 1. We had no idea how to travel.
We were fighters, not drivers.
Also, in the process of getting this information, Noir found a 10-year-old.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're about to have this fight again. We're going to have this fight again.
That matched the design of something and started accosting an 8-year-old for information. And he didn't do a sensible thing like I did, where he tried to tap into nearby networks using the equipment rig he had up that, like I said, gave me an extended signal, and accidentally create like the spy on everyone thingy from The Dark Knight.
By bullying that child,
I got the information.
I found useful information.
I did too.
Helped me stop
I only
the rebels.
broke several international laws.
And I bullied one child. And you know what? Bullying builds character. There, I said it. No,
that's fair.
No. We don't endorse bullying on this stream. Unless it's chat bullying Noir.
I'm not saying I endorse bullying. I'm just saying I
didn't rough him up.
Bullying.
I just reminded him that I'm the authorities.
Yeah, exactly. So,
God damn it.
While we're on the now we've gone from video games to RPGs. On the subject of RPGs, Anor, you and I were in a game together.
Yes, we were. Also had to do with this guy.
Yeah, sure were. Applegate's made some appearances or cameos in our...
I keep hearing about these, and I keep getting found out that I'm not necessarily being portrayed in the greatest light.
No!
But my question is, has Applegate made appearances?
That's true.
I don't know. Does he turn into a tiger?
He hasn't done anything, really. He got captured, but that's about it.
Got knocked out in the first episode at a bank.
I resemble that statement.
But the thing is, and we're gonna go meta for a second. Applegate was in the Trouble in the Second City one shot.
Yep.
Yes.
Right? Applegate is currently dealing with the alderman at the Bee trying to bring back magic. While this is happening, Applegate is also at the bank and he's been knocked out and captured.
Yeah, I know. I know this. Tay hasn't made this connection yet.
There's 2 Applegates.
Yeah, I'm aware of this. Tay has no freaking clue who Applegate is.
I know. So...
My Azamar Druid has no idea what's going on.
One question for TTRPG. If there was one fantasy TTRPG trope you could change, what is it and how would you change it?
I'm going to have to agree with Faye.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's got... but that one I feel like might be a cop-out.
That's true.
So but it's accurate. It's my go-to, like, eliminate the racism. But let's just, assuming that one is all, I'm gonna say, but you can't pick that one. Let's assume that one gets fixed. What other trope would you fix? Just because, you know.
I'd get rid of charm person.
Yeah.
Charm effects can fuck right off. It takes away agency and consent.
Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah.
I feel bad now because I was going to say I would get rid of spell components. Because who plays with spell components? Let me be honest. Who sits here and actually tracks, like, you're casting Fireball. Okay, do you have
any guano?
Do you have any sulfur?
Like, who, and I'm sorry, and I'm going to say this the nice way I can. If you actually play that way, please stop.
Yeah, racism is the free space in the TTRPG mechanic of removal of bingo card.
Like, just because, like, I don't need to micromanage that. If you want to have, and that's not to say you can't have specific things have a gating mechanism. Critical Role, for instance, has, like, there are some steps and limitations to revival. You want to put that in front of Miracle or Wish or things that can openly break the game. Cool, I get it. I understand. Put some sort of extra.
But also that diamond
restriction.
That diamond component also plays a huge role in things like the Critical Role Revivify that you're talking about.
Yeah, because after a certain level, death means nothing.
Right, but that's why I'm saying, like, okay, but it doesn't have to be on every spell.
Okay, no, I get that. What I would change is how 20s and 1s are perceived.
Yeah.
I don't like how 20s are run in 5th edition. I don't like how 1s are run in 5th edition. I don't like skill checks. I don't like combat. And oh god, I got a couple of things I would change. And okay. So one of the things that bothers me is death checks being made public. I played a game once where a DM was just like, if you make a death check, you tell me directly. And ever since I played it that way, it's been my favorite thing. Because the one thing I hate more than anything is, like, a character goes down and everybody's, like, doing their thing, and then it's just like, oh, he rolled a 1 on his death save. Okay, now we gotta take it seriously. Like, no. If a character goes down, you don't get to know how close to death they are unless you look. Like, right. I hate that. It's just a tiny meta thing that drives me fucking crazy. It's just like, oh, he made a death save, so we're gonna go do this other thing. No, if, like, it takes me out of the story. It's just, if your buddy goes down, you don't know where they're at. Like, so either react to them going down or just do what you're doing, but accept the fact that by doing what you're doing, you could be leaving them to die. Like, it's such an annoying thing for me. Like, it triggers me every time it happens, and I die a lot, so it happens a lot.
Right.
Faye said that they'd remove the idea that clerics are inherently religious.
Yeah.
Or paladins are inherently religious.
Well, I mean, I think it's even easier with a paladin to change that than it is with a cleric. But in either case, I think it's the same thing. In either way, I think they need something to focus on, but it doesn't have to be religious.
Yeah, belief isn't necessarily religion.
It's kind of like how the cleric has an oath. You don't have to have an oath to Baylor or whoever. You can have an oath of your own. You have an oath to do good. An oath of protection, and whatever.
Like, I rarely play religious clerics or paladins. It's kind of boring. I
I like somebody holding to an ideal rather than a doctrine.
Right. It's kind of like I've seen someone who came up with the idea of having like a character who was a necromancer, but who specifically did it to be a necromancer who was like an investigator.
Yeah.
And so they would try and they would never reanimate a body that died of natural causes, something like that. They would only reanimate a body that was murdered or slain in some way, find out how, and then can take the appropriate steps and then let them lay on and go to their eternal rest. And it's like it's used as a tool, just like anything else would. But you have your own agency even as a dead body. I was like, okay, I like that idea.
Like right now, one of the characters that I'm enjoying playing is my paladin Lorenzo, and his oath is to restore. Good hammer! Like yeah, his like he. It is funny because our bard and our cleric are religious, and they have conversations.
No, he froze.
About their religion, and it just
you froze and then you sped up real fast.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
That's all right.
I heard cleric and paladin are religious, and then is where it got muddled.
Oh, okay. I'll say the cleric and the bard are religious, and like my paladin just kind of doesn't get it. Like they keep talking about their god and their rituals, and he's just like, wherever the storm goes, I go, and that's about the extent of it.
No, he's Tony Stark. He's Tony Stark. He's the, because the cleric, I'm sure, is used actual... The cleric, I'm sure, is like, I pray to my god and use this power, and it's like, he's actually seen the work of a god and been like, I'm fine. Yeah. And I go, Tony Stark has literally met Thor, and he's like, I mean, I guess if there's a god, and I'm like, you fucking met one.
Dee is in chat. Hi, Dee. One of their goals is to still get a DM that will make an ethically sourced lich.
I mean, ethically sourced is one way to describe that, but yes.
Liches don't inherently have to be evil.
Well, it's kind of like I just said, necromancy doesn't inherently have to be evil, because guess what? Yeah. Clerics revive people too. Yeah. What is the difference? It's how you use it. It's just because people always describe necromancer as, I shall raise an army.
I want to fuck with the dead.
But that's the person, not the power. It's two different things. I'm not trying to say like a guns don't kill people do, because again it's the responsibility of the power. Like, no, guns fucking kill people, but people do use the guns. But like, again, that kind of gets into the nature of how you use it is kind of my point.
Right.
Because the whole argument people say is like, you don't need to be able to fire 30 rounds in 16 seconds. You don't need to be able to revive 518 skeletons to follow you around as a battalion. The argument actually works if I talk it out.
Some people will argue like spells like Finger of Death are inherently evil, and I don't agree.
I think it depends on who you're using it on and what you're using it on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, it kills you. Yes, it brings you back as a zombie, but that doesn't mean it's evil.
D, they don't have to be evil. Just let me make a highly ambitious character without making them lawful evil.
I don't need
Faye, that is a very evil plan.
How many times have we all seen like the road to hell was paved with good intentions?
Exactly.
How many villains have you seen like they get portrayed as lawful evil because
you're ahead of the curve.
Well, no, a lot of villains, I was saying, let's be real, get portrayed as lawful evil because they lose. Like, here's the best example I can give. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fire Lord Sozin, not Ozai. Ozai, you could argue, starts veering into the evil territory. Fire Lord Sozin was not evil. He was neutral. His methods may not have been correct, but the dude legitimately said, I want to bring our level of peace and prosperity to the world. His methods were wrong. And those who took it and ran with it made it in the worst way. And it created this belief of better and worse, and we need to subjugate and what have you. But his base idea itself was not rooted in evil. The reason you view it as evil is you've seen how everything played out.
So here's a question that I asked.
You two just fucking simultaneously did
we do that all the time. That has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. Me and Anita are in sync.
That's because we share a brain cell and a Zoom account.
But that's it. But here's a question that I asked at a game shop that basically tore the game shop apart.
Oh, good. This is good.
Yeah. Give American alignment. Yeah, that tore the store apart. I'm like, if America was a character, what would its alignment be? And I told you, it's easily lawful evil.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Easily.
I'm there with you.
I disagree. But I disagree, but I don't think it's in the way you think I'm going to say. I don't think it's lawful evil.
No,
I think it's neutral evil.
Yep, yeah, that could argue.
Because people keep saying, people will say it's lawful evil because it's like they do all these evil things, they subjugate, they do all this, but they follow the law. Do they? They follow the law until as long as it suits their whims, and then when it doesn't suit their whims, you change the law.
That's fair.
Look at what's going on right now. Look at what's going on right now.
That is fair.
I'm not saying the Democrats are good, but I'm saying of the two. I'm not saying the Democrats are good.
You're making a good argument for chaotic, though.
The Republican side of things is clearly tilted way more evil, and their whole stunt is, well, we didn't win the lawful way, so fuck it, let's manipulate the law. They're still trying to do it in the courts and with this system and with that system. They're not trying to say yet, technically, go out in the streets and shoot people for it, but they're trying to get into the fringes of the trying to, we're lawful, but you're in the fringes of the law. You're in the edges of you're trying to tweak the law, which means you're not actually following the law. Like you're just trying to work your privilege. So that's why I say neutral. They're not saying march yet. That's the chaotic step. The chaotic step is go out in the streets with guns and demand it. They're being very careful to avoid that, which is what keeps them at the neutral mark.
But here's the thing, though. I don't think that's true. I think they are saying go out into the streets and cause a ruckus.
Subtly, in the way that neutral would. They're being very key about their rules. Chaotic, see, that's what I'm saying. Chaotic says, I don't really give a fuck about the rules. I don't care. I'm going to do what I want. Neutral sits in that balance and knows, the best way I could say it, not necessarily, but when you're talking on the evil end of the spectrum, neutrality is manipulation. It's knowing how to play both ends to the center and get what you want while knowing that you can operate within and without the system, depending on what you need to get done.
Can I tell you
specifically about the evil end of the spectrum?
Can I tell you that when I brought this up in the game store, there is the reason that it tore people apart.
Who the fuck said lawful good?
Yep.
I want to know what white ass person said lawful good or anything along those lines.
Cis white dude.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to know.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, baby. Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Oh my fucking god.
He's like, America has had its sins in the past, but they always try to rectify it by updating the laws to make sure that the mistakes that we made don't happen again. You can't get any more lawful good than that. And my argument was, lawful good people don't buy slaves.
Listen, I wear this shirt and I wear the Black Lives Matter shirt on stream for a reason. I have argued about this. I have fought with people about this. The bottom line, okay, you got to understand, it's not just the basics of it. It's as you start to dig deeper, you start to see the real... Here's the thing. It's terrible when you look at it at face value. When you really start digging away, it's worse. Because here's the problem. America didn't just practice slave, and I understand we're going way the fuck left field here, but we're here now, and you gave me room to speak, so I'm speaking.
No,
America didn't just practice slavery. America practiced chattel slavery. Children being born into slavery to become slaves to bear children born into slavery. That shit, that with an inability to...
Can I give you his counter argument? His counter argument was, okay, let's say you're playing a character and their backstory is that they owned slaves. Are you telling me that character can never be lawful good after that?
Correct. 110%. 110%. It doesn't mean, now I want to be clear about this, to that character, if that character was born into that system where that was normalcy and they had their own revelation and they worked to undo that system, I'm not saying that they are forever as evil as they were, but they can never become good because fundamentally you understand they're never going to be able to undo the hurt they caused. They can.
Would you like to hear what I told him?
But you can never undo the hurt you caused. Period.
Here's what I told him. I absolutely believe that if you had a character that owned slaves and was just a deplorable piece of garbage human being, that they can be lawful good. Hold on. I very much believe in redemption. There's even a fucking subclass for it with the paladins. You can be the worst human being on the planet. You can go full tilt chaotic evil, and you can become lawful good if you do the work. Here was my challenge to him. Find me where they outlaw slavery.
Actually,
we have it.
I will say that. Here's my point. Which it's true we haven't, because, hey, prison labor, that's slavery. Well, we won't even get into that whole discussion. Here's the better point. Find me an example. Name one person. Go in history, find me one person who grew up in the system, who had slaves, turned around, and fought slavery the rest of their life while no longer earning slaves. Find the example. Oh shit, it doesn't exist. Would you fucking look at that?
Yeah.
So, forgive me for not being able to play into your fantasy about, so you're saying no one could become good? Well, they didn't! I need you to find me one! The closest example anyone can even begin to comprehend would be Thomas Jefferson, because he started out owning slaves and he fought to end the trade of new slaves in Virginia. Notice that I'm being very specific about the words that I chose. He fought to end the trade of new slaves in Virginia, not slavery, because he still owned fucking slaves. He just was like, well, we don't want to bring more into the system. Oh, well, aren't you magnanimous?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch, you did it. You fixed it.
Lincoln was an abolitionist, but still believed that black people were inferior to white people.
Derrida said it, and it's exactly what it is. We had the literal worst system of slavery on earth. Because if you look in history, the idea of slavery, where you could not buy your way out of slavery through your work, was a reprehensible concept. So being born into it, by definition, was a reprehensible concept. So explain to me how the fuck we get away with that, just writing that off. Answer, you don't. You don't.
There's a meme that's going around that I love very much, where it's just like a stormtrooper is holding a sign that says, "The civil rights was about states' rights."
What fucking states' rights, Billy?
And it's a picture of Vader cutting them in half, and it says, "A state's right to what?"
To what?
Here's my thing. Here's my favorite. Oh my God, when I get into discussions with people, it's my favorite when they're like, the Civil War is about states' rights. I don't even hit them with the states' right to what, because they'll be like, their right to exist autonomously. And I'll be like, cool. Let me tell you this. If the Civil War was not about slavery, you know who should have been informed about that shit? The fucking Confederacy, because it's written in their constitution. And when the Confederate vice president gave one of their most famous speeches, he said, and I quote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that the Negro man is inferior to the white man." That's the vice president.
Yeah.
So can I buy a vowel?
So
if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's racism! It's not deep! It may hurt your view that being a rebel. The South was a group of rebels. Yes, you wanted to rebel against being a good person.
Yo, but this is seriously a great question to ask your gaming group to find some interesting thoughts.
I appreciate
you know, you just
it's the reason.
Just go ahead and just be like, give America an alignment. It's wild.
Whoa.
There was a whole conversation a while back in TTRPG Twitter talking about, someone was like, yo, remove racism from your games. Remove racism from your games. We don't need to play it out. And people are like, well, you're saying it's a bad thing for people to play out defeating racists who are trying to subjugate. And it's like, hey, fam, listen, here's the problem. That's not how it works. That's not how anything works. What you would be implying is that if we got rid of the head of the KKK right now, all the racists would just stop being racist. That's not how it works. You're trying to create a savior moment that doesn't exist, and you're speaking on something you don't understand. Does that mean you can't tackle these concepts at all? No. But if you don't have the range for it, don't speak on it. And further, take a look at the way in which you're doing it. I actually had a game I was considering doing, and at some point I may end up doing it in this world I've created. And I've talked to one of the people who's involved, and I basically said, listen, I'm be honest, the group of people who I've planned to play for it, we went down the list, and I said, I got to the end and I realized, hello, everyone other than me would be black. And so I said, I wanted to talk. I was like, listen, I want to ask you. I said, I want to broach the subject. I said, I want to be honest about it. As my world is constructed, there is no racism. I don't want to deal with it. I want to make a world that goes beyond that and talks about bigger things. But, and said, I'm going to kick it to you. What I need to know is, would that actually fly if I had a group full of black people? Or would you want to tackle that as sort of a villain that doesn't pervade the culture, but exists with your kind of input onto how I craft it? And I'm going to ask you, because this would be your story to tell and me creating the storybook. Would you rather, have stories to tell in a world where that isn't the focus? Or would you rather tell that story, but done with your input? And I'm going to leave it to you, because it ain't my story to tell. If you want to have that conversation, okay. But if you're a white dude playing with a bunch of white folks, maybe think of something better. Because if the only hook you can come up with is that the bad guy is evil because he's racist, spoiler alert, we know that. Your character's not interesting. Do better.
It's lazy
come up with some other shit.
It's lazy storytelling.
I have, man, if I could tell you, my default opinion on racism in games is generally no, but here's the other side of it. I have built a world for 20 years, and I know I've been talking about Gloria for a while. I have sections where racism exists. And the reason that it's in my world is because, I mean, I've dealt with it a lot. So
you don't have to ask anyone.
So it's just like
you very much so have the range. You don't have to.
So it's just like I kind of know. Like, I know where it's at in my world. And, like, if my players are comfortable with it, then I can guide them to that part of the world. But for the most part, it's tucked away. It doesn't pop up. You know, I mean, there are some things I feel like... There are some things that I feel like GMs that have dealt with it know how to handle it in a way that's respectful of the topic. I actually, this is kind of weird to talk about, but I played a game where somebody really kind of introduced me to how terrifying Charm Person is, and it had such an effect on me that ever since I played that game, in my games when I bring new players on, I'm just like, look, Charm Person is something that we need to talk about before we even start. And the reason that she was able to color that is because of a personal experience that she had.
Right.
And through the story she told, I got to see how very terrifying it is, how very truly disturbing it is. That is not anything that I would ever
have, like, to make that person
dare
walk
put
out
in
of the
my
way
games.
so you can sneak through. It's really sit and think about what this thing does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it was just the description of it, how it was used in the story. Again, it's something that I personally would never ever touch. But she had a real life experience that colored her ability to tell this story in a way that was mature, in a way that was empathetic, in a way that lasted. And so I feel like there are some things that should only be touched by people that truly understand it. Like, I would never say I played a game in which sexual assault was a part of the game and it was great. But that's kind of what this was. And it was like it sticks with me, and you know, and that's something that I carry forward.
And that's the combination of both the personal experience from the GM with having dealt with it and the table. And so that's why I was saying, like, when I had went and spoke to him and I was like, this is the world I have constructed. These are the people who I'm planning. You see the common thread here. I'm going to ask you because I also don't want to say, like, nobody wants to deal with it, or you may want to deal with it, but in a way handled a certain way. Would you like to tell me, like, I would want it to be dealt with in this way, this nuance, da-da-da. Do you think you have the strength? And I could bounce my ideas off of you and see if it's a fit. And if you want it, cool. Because of the table as a whole all being there. If it was one black, like, for lack of a better way of saying it, Noir, if it was like me and like the three of us at a table, I'm not going to broach the issue because... yeah, like, I don't have the group of experiences and viewpoints to speak on whatever. It won't be right. If it was like I said, if it was 4 or 5 all black men and women and non-binary folk all sitting here, like, you know, okay, we would kind of want to tangle it. But we want it to be dealt with in this way, and I'm going to take that into account because there's a shared experience amongst players that I don't want to take away. I'm not saying you would be begging me to do it, but I'm saying I'll give the option. Yeah. But my default is going to be, hey, it's in my wheelhouse. I'm not trying to force anything on anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I absolutely. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alina.
No, go ahead, and we'll segue from there.
Okay, I was just gonna say, like, no, absolutely, I understand that, and like, it comes back to the key to running a good table that has a story that lasts is communication between the players, communication between the GMs. Because again, I have run people through the racist part of Gloria. And I actually had a conversation afterwards with one of my white friends that was just like, that was rough. And I was like, yeah. And it was nothing overt. It was tiny things that he noticed
stuff that you don't deal with that other people do.
Right. In front of you. One of the things that bothered him the most is that, when one person went to a shop, I gave him the prices that, he was charging. Then he went to his shop and the prices were different. And he was like, yo, did you fuck that up? And I'm like, no. He's just like, why? And I was just like, well, keep playing. And the more he played, the more he started to get it. Oh, this is because, yeah. And it was like, yeah, he was like, I don't like that. I was like,
Someone goes to ask a question and they get a full answer on everything they need. Then another person goes to answer the question and the response is short. It's minimal. It's just trying to get them out of there.
Yeah.
Condescending a little bit, speaking down, assuming you don't understand things.
One of the things that I did was, when one person went to get information about the quest, they got pretty decent information. And one of the pieces of information is, hey, make sure you avoid this spot because, there are creatures that inhabit it. When he went to get the information, it was just like, oh, you might want to hang around that area. And it was just like, it's little shit like that. It's just, we had a real conversation about it. He was just like, that's.
It's why, no, I'm gonna let Anita speak because she
no.
And I was also gonna segue, and I just
Faye put it best that roleplay is only fun when people feel safe.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So, go ahead, finish your thought, and then we can move on. Because I was actually going to say that talking about safety at the table and talking about these sorts of things and having a good table of people brings us into the that guy segment.
I knew that's where you were going.
Which actually, this may dovetail into that guy. I was just going to say, it kind of also works on the other end of the spectrum, which is when world building. Namely, I've had a world I've been crafting for a long time. And one of the things I've done is not just, say, a representation of different, appearances, like, racially, but as far as, like, anything on the spectrum, you name it, having disabled representation, having all this. What I've done is, as I craft the world in all these different countries, I've also been crafting out what does the leadership of each country look like. Because the way if I'm crafting it, I go, like, top down. Like, what does the government system look like? And then work its way down. What is their influence, culture, what have you, and then work your way down. And so what I did, when doing that, I was like, okay, so the leaders here are human, and by and large, you get a distinct, like the leader is most of one is Indian. And then there's another, like, as far as, obviously there's not India, but you get, like, the appearance wise, he looks like a Sikh. And so on. And then there's another nation where I was like, okay, it's all based on, like, a power, and it's a knightdom is what I called it. And you have, like, this ranking military-based hierarchy and leadership. And at the head of it all, the Lord Knight, he has one arm. He's just that badass that ain't no one going to take him on a fight, and so on and so on. And I worked this in. And so it's like working in disability, but not having that holding people back, working in all different races, working in I've got 2 different leaders, one is trans and one is non-binary. And the thing is, it's not that I did all that because I wanted to be like checklist, check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark. The reason I did it was I said, okay, if I start from the top down, incorporating all these different viewpoints, as I start to flesh things out, I'm already working all of that into the fabric of the world, and I'm creating a sense of normalcy throughout the world as a whole, that these things are going to be represented in every factor of it, and the world is more fleshed out and whole. And so it becomes, the best way I can explain it is, but Anita, you brought up Final Fantasy 12. In Final Fantasy 12, every bit of leadership is human. Mm-hmm. You have Viera, you have Benga, but they're in the lower dregs,
or they're off to the side and they're secluded,
or they're merchants, or they're bandits. Like, why isn't there a Benga ambassador somewhere? Why isn't there a Benga prime minister? And granted, again, it's not, you could say forced diversity if you want to, sure, if you're that guy at the table being an asshole. But the point is, by forcing this in at one level, it ingrains itself in throughout naturally. And as I start writing, it all just kind of easily works itself in. I put no effort into it. It just makes its way into every other facet. And now my world is a lot less plain by default, because as I start writing things out, I have to start incorporating different viewpoints that may not be my own. Mm-hmm. I have to start thinking outside my box. And so I've looked afterwards and I'm like, wow, it's not plain anymore, because I specifically forced myself to say, okay, I'm not just going to write what the default is. It doesn't make me a hero by any remote means, but it's why I encourage people, start working this stuff out in the early stages, and it naturally makes its way into everything else. And now you have a real living, vibrant world where different people can feel represented in that space.
And I think that also gets back, I think that also gets back to what you had mentioned earlier was your kid playing the Spider-Man game and seeing themselves in Miles Morales. Diversity and inclusion and these things matter. Representation fucking matters to people.
The people who sit here and shout like, oh, so you need to look like the dude on the screen to connect, are always the people who have always had dudes who look like them on screen to connect with. Mm-hmm. You've never had to go without that.
Yep.
So you don't know what it's like to finally get that. It's what Noir was saying about how you had that moment with Miles. You had that moment with Black Panther. But the corollary is these other people haven't had that moment because they've just always had it. They don't know what it's like to not have it.
Like I had a thread a while back, and this is gonna probably turn into a tangent, so I apologize in advance.
Please.
Being a black nerd is hard. For a very long time, like, and I'm gonna use Star Wars as an example.
Yeah.
Because there are what, 5 black people at most,
and most of them are never on screen at the same time.
Right, you got Lando.
You got Mace Windu.
You got Mace Windu.
Oh, Thief, that's right. And
who got like 2-hit comboed by Anakin. You've got Finn, who became, it was Finn that hurt me the most, and here's why. And I know this is.
Oh, I know the thread you made, and understand from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, do I agree?
Like they advertised.
that was bullshit.
They advertised Finn as a stormtrooper who walks away from being a stormtrooper, and I was going to be a Jedi. And I have it's not just the fact that I was just like, ooh, Black Jedi. It's like, they're really going to tell a story with a guy that looks like me, and it's going to be like a really good story. Like every trailer started with Finn. Every poster was Finn holding the lightsaber. I cannot tell you, like, I have loved Star Wars since my pops told me about it outside of a Cubs food. You know, it was always like a part of my heart, and you know, I didn't realize that Star Wars didn't have a black dude until I got older, but I was already so entrenched that I was just like, well, Revan's a black dude because I played Knights of the Old Republic like crazy. You know, it's just like I would take whatever they would give me, and then they promised to give me something substantial. And what they did to that character was so utterly disrespectful that to this day, I still can't really fuck with Star Wars.
Yeah.
He started out as potential. He got turned into a joke slapstick character. And then he got turned into, he doesn't fucking matter. He got worse than joke slapstick. Like, in the end, he just was there.
Well, I mean, here was the final line of disrespect that that I was just like, I'm done. He had, well, obviously there are signs that he was force sensitive. And in the last film, he was getting ready to tell Rey something when it looked like they were about to die. And they gave so little of a fuck about this character that was never resolved.
Mm-mm.
And I just...
Yeah. Rise of Skywalker is an example of what happens when you cater to the most toxic part of your fandom.
It
hurts.
And to any person who's like, oh, so females shouldn't got a representation, Rey shouldn't have been a Jedi, they could have both been.
Yeah.
Just FYI, legally you were allowed to have 2 Jedi. I'll let you know, it's in the law books.
You know what? And I'm probably gonna get a little bit of trouble for this. But like I'm feeling it now because like I'm still really pissed about Finn. White women, shut the fuck up, please. Like, and here's what I mean by that. It's just like we saw the election, right? Shut up. Just it's time for y'all to shut the whole fuck up. All right, because this I'm with y'all. I want everybody to be treated equally, but y'all not holding your weight.
Mm-hmm.
Shut the fuck up. It's about that time now. It's about that time.
It's like that Bill Burr rant he did on SNL that pissed off so many women, where he was like, for all these years, you were sitting off here profiting on everything, and now all of a sudden you want to step over the line and just yell at white dudes. No, take your sit next to me and get you talking to.
Yeah.
Like
white women benefit more from white supremacy than they do from any other thing, than they do from equality.
I mean, and the thing is, like, when I brought up the Finn thing, I had a couple of people say that I was a misogynist, that I didn't care about women and whatnot. Not at any point did they bring up the fact that the only black woman in a Star Wars movie was brought in to be the love interest for Finn and was given 5 minutes of screen time, in which 3 of those minutes she was riding a horse holding a spear in fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear any of this feminist stuff if you're not taking care of everybody.
I'm going to go ahead and say the word you wanted to say and say bullshit, because I understand that your point is not all feminism is bullshit. It's that white feminism is bullshit.
Either your feminism is intersectional or you can get the fuck out.
That's the, and I want to be clear on that. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say feminism is bullshit. I can't wear a shirt that says protect black women and not understand that protect women is innately a part of that. But the reason I got the shirt that says protect black women is because of the fact that there is basically no group more under attack than black women.
I posted on Twitter this meme that this white lady posted, where she was just like, she posted the map of the U.S. election, and it was like how many men voted for Trump versus how many women, and she was like, men are the problem. Never mind the fact that like
54,
white women are
50%. Wait, no, 56% this time. I can't remember.
And I really feel like nobody is shouting to the rooftops enough that black women single-handedly saved democracy in America, and I'm getting real fucking sick of it. And I'm like, I'm at that point where it's just like, look, 8% of black men voted for Trump. 99% of black women voted for Biden. So black men, we fuck it up too. But it's just like,
black women voted so little for Trump this time and last time, it fell within the statistical margin of error to where they're not willing to give it a confirmed percentage.
Georgia red to blue.
They're not willing to give it an actual confirmed, like, you'll see the percentage vary place to place because of the fact that it falls within the statistical margin of error.
And I'm tired of hearing about like, oh, black women are so strong. Black women do all this. Ooh,
God, there it is. Thank you. Fucking.
And nobody is like, okay, they're strong.
I'm tired of hearing that word. I'm tired of hearing that word.
Where are they on your streets?
And I'm not a black woman.
Where are they in your fucking executive offices? I don't want to talk about how fucking strong they are. I want to talk about what the fuck you're doing to thank them for what the fuck they just did. Like, that's where I'm at right now.
I went on a rant about that. I don't know. I've gone on about it more than one time, but like on Twitter.
I'm so sorry that I just got hyped like this over
Star Wars.
Go for it.
Y'all just.
It was a month or two ago where I was like, I need you to do me a favor, for the love of God. I need you the next time you want to compliment a black woman, if the word strong is going to come out of your mouth, shut the fuck up. Pick another word. Because you know what? They're tired of being called strong. We all know they're strong because they have to put up with so much shit constantly 24/7. 365. We know they're strong. They know they're strong. And the problem is when you tell them they're strong, by definition, you are then adding on that they are going to carry burdens. You know what you want to go ahead and say? Go ahead and call them beautiful, powerful, amazing, skilled, talented, wonderful, kind, world-building, intelligent, intellectual, wise, noble, incredible, whatever other word. Stop saying strong.
And there's just some things that need to fundamentally change. If the top level of any organization or community or group that you have, it has one black person, that's not diversity. If it has two black people, it's not diversity. There's things that we have accepted that need to be unlearned. There are things that we have, especially in the nerd community. Like I cannot tell you enough. If I keep seeing black female cosplayers or black them presenting cosplayers going through the struggle, and their follower counts are well below their white counterparts, and their white counterparts will be like, this is unfortunate, and not do anything more than that. And the fact that their numbers are lower, that's a fucking problem in our community too. And it's just, I don't have any solutions. I'm just sick of people talking about we're doing something to fix it, and all we're doing is the same bullshit.
It all dovetails into each other. I brought up Milady Confetti earlier because of the shirt and how her and Zombie Kills, two black women, on the first day of GlitchCon were told on stream, by the way, you're no longer affiliates, you have officially made partner. And also that day, Steven Spawn, who everyone should also follow, Spawn spelled S-P-O-H-N. Steven Spawn, who is a disabled man, he started the group Able Gamers, and he's worked with Ryan Reynolds. He's worked with all types of people trying to promote accessibility and stuff in gaming. Dr. Lupo had him on a stream, and he's like, you had mentioned, you wanted before you hit 40 to raise $1 million. Where are you at? And he was like, well, we're at about $200,000 right now. And he's like, okay, just so you know, Twitch just sent me here today to tell you they're donating $1 million to Able Gamers. Not one person had an issue, had a comment, had any pushback about Twitch donating $1 million to Able Gamers, because why would you? There's nothing wrong with it. It's a beautiful act. It's a wonderful thing to do. It's actually one of the good things they've done. How do you think a lot of the reaction was to Milady Confetti and Zombie Kills getting partner? What do you think everyone said?
Oh, yeah.
If you guessed, oh, we just have to push diversity. Oh, they get it over other worthy people. Oh, they get spotlighted because they're black and because they're women. Oh, so they get opportunities, but I don't with my 4 viewers just because I'm a white guy. Oh, this is fair. If you think chat was anything other than a fucking million tri-hex emojis over and over and over again, if you think any of that, you are wrong. By the way, Zombie Kills and Milady Confetti had both already been dealing with a shitstorm. because Milady Confetti called out Dr. Lupo and was like, listen, a couple months ago you were all about Black Lives Matter. What have you done since? You've been real silent. Now, Dr. Lupo did say, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, but it was all stuff in private. He didn't know. What was his first reaction? Why are you attacking Michaelis when you don't know me? And the internet descended upon her because how dare this black woman speak out of line? And he just immediately got all the accolades in the world. Zombie Kills did a thing where she was like, dear Xbox, you clearly need some more black women to show off your products because I haven't seen any of them. I'm willing to volunteer. And the internet descended upon her. Oh, so you should get a new Xbox just because you're a black woman? Motherfucking yes! Because they're not giving them out.
I got 2 points to make, and then like I might find some chill. But here are my 2 points.
Go for it.
One, I have harped on this point since day one, and I'll continue to harp on it. Giving black people their roses does not mean cycling the same 5 black people. It does not. It does not mean that you keep hiring the same 4 or 5 and say, look at what a good job we're doing. And that includes me. Having me on your channel does not diversity make. Mm-mm. That might cost me a job or 2 at a time where I really need a job. But it's a fact. It's true. Now here is the second part, and I'm gonna wild out a little bit. So just hold on. Mm-hmm. I need y'all to understand that for the last 4 years, we have had a man in charge that has degraded the reputation of America in the international community. It has done such a horrid job in leadership that it has directly led to the death of 200,000 Americans. It has diminished our economy. It has diminished our standing in the world, and he's only grown more and more popular to the point where it threatened to lead us into a fascist nation. This was the stakes of the 2020 election. And one group of Americans came out, brought more people out, to the point where this has been the most involved election of all fucking time. And they turned places that were deep red blue. They single-handedly changed the political landscape in America, and they saved democracy. One group of Americans. Now, if this were white women that did this, the parade would still be going. Mm-hmm. If this were white men that did this, the parade would still be going.
I don't know that it would end.
But it was black women. And I watched the news report it like, Stacey Abrams did such a wonderful job leading in Georgia. Now let's go back to the orange guy throwing a temper tantrum. No, that's it. It comes back to that racist part of My World in Gloria, where if a elf were to save the town would go, oh, that's a good job, thank you. But if a human did it, it's a big fucking deal. And that's where we are right now. And I think that's the infuriating thing for me right now, is everybody's going, oh, I'm so glad that Trump is gone. Oh, I'm so glad that it's over. Tell me how we got here, y'all. Tell me who we have to thank for that and what you've done to thank them. It's if every black woman in America decided not to vote, this would be a different story. And it's like nobody is seeing that.
Oh no,
it drives me a little crazy in the subconscious. And I told y'all I was gonna wild out a little bit, and this is the wild out. And it's just
Mark, listen, man. Like, you said a thing a little bit ago where you were like, "Do you know how hard it is to be a black nerd?" And obviously, I don't. But what I do understand is, so a lot of, and I brought this up on stream the other day. I literally talked about it for a bit because I commented a little bit on Twitter, but I got really into my thoughts about it on stream. And I was like, for anyone who's not black, specifically white people, obviously, and I'll apply this to anything, but I'm going to focus right here for now, white people, because of its availability to you if you're in America, for instance. When's the last time you took part in what I would consider traditionally black media of any variety? TV shows where the entire cast is black, movies, the entire cast is black, music, that is rap, hip-hop, R&B, other forms of music, generally to, where the average listener and the average creator is black. And the reason I asked that, and so my whole point in bringing that up is this, and it's not about getting a pat on the back, getting stars or anything. There was a point. The whole thing was, and I was saying, you could do that new stuff or old stuff. If we're talking TV, I'm talking Empire or Power. I'm talking Living Single and Moesha and okay, because Hanging with Mr. Cooper. The whole point of me asking,
hey,
exactly, I have more Malcolm and Eddie. Okay, no, Martin. I'm gonna rate it. The point was, that's something I've taken part in since I was younger, still take part in now, and I've told people before, I'm like, I don't blame you if you don't regularly take part in that media prior to being an adult, because you grew up in a household where that wasn't what people were watching, and so you can't just like force everyone to be. I get all that. I understand it. But now you're an adult. You go on Hulu and watch Living Single right now. You go on Netflix and watch countless shows, Moesha and all that right now. You take part. You can go watch, if you got the Stars app, you can go watch Power. You can go, Empire's available on Hulu. There's so many options. The reason I brought it up is, if you're not, if your answer is the last time you did was to go watch the movie Black Panther, and prior to that you can't remember it, you're depriving yourself. And it's because, and it's kind of the whole thing about people saying, well, your numbers aren't there as a black content creator, as a black man, black woman, black non-binary person, content creator, you're not as supported. Well, you're not as supported because the standard is whiteness. The standard is white media. So people aren't going out of their way to look at black content creators because they feel like maybe there are jokes I won't jive with. So when you say you're a black nerd, remember when we had our whole thing where we connected about Cisco, and you went on your whole thing about how Cisco, I'm going to show you with video evidence in this essay how he's a 20th level monk. And you and I could laugh and crack jokes about that. And there's a lot of white people who are going to maybe laugh a little bit, but it's not going to hit the same, because they don't connect with Cisco and as the lead singer of Drew Hill and of all these memories, because you're not taking part in all these other medias, and you're depriving yourself of other views and experiences. So when I tell you, you need to support these black content creators, man, women, non-binary, it's because they're not getting supported because people aren't taking in any other media. It's why I tell people, listen, if you like Friends, go watch Living Single, because I'm not saying Living Single is the black version of Friends. I'm saying Friends is the white version of Living Single. Living Single came first. It is the white version of Living Single. So if you like Friends, boy, do I have a show for you, because it's better.
I mean,
now granted, that's subjective.
No, it literally
I think it's
is
subjective,
better.
but that's not side. The reason I'm saying that is, once you start doing that, you may not get jokes at first, but then as you start taking part in the meeting, and it's not, and again, I want to be very, 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 very clear about this. I'm not telling people, go watch one TV show and listen to 5 rap songs so that you can sprinkle in references to either appropriate or to manipulate people into thinking you're part of things. What I'm saying is, once you start doing it, I promise you, you'll find something you like. You'll start continuing to look for more stuff, and lo and behold, you will find new experiences and references and jokes and things that you like and enjoy and that appeal to you, and they connect you to someone else.
Here's the thing. Black culture and POC culture is only popular with white people when it has been watered down to a point that it is
and
palatable
repackaged.
and repackaged.
And this brings me to my last point I want to make on just the election and just being black in America in general.
Also, I just need to point out NNG9. Yes, Living Single does have the original Kratos.
Yes, it does.
Best Kratos. I'll never get over Kyle being Kratos. Okay, continue.
You're good. Which is like one of the things that happened this election cycle is, there would be black people that would be like, I'm not gonna vote, and I would see white people shame them. And now, I'm not saying that not participating in the election process is a thing that I support, because it's not. But I don't support a white person ever pushing a black person to vote, because there's something that you fundamentally cannot understand. You've never been outlawed. You've never legally been property. You've never, like, to the extent of the average black person in America, you've never had the law designed to be against you. It takes a lot of work as a black person to get to the booth, because it's very easy to go, what's the point? Because nothing changes. We have been fighting the same fights. If you look outside and you see the riots, we have been in these riots since the beginning, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. And so getting to the poll is something that is deep and meaningful for us. And that's why what black women just did is so important. And I know a lot of feminists will say, well, there are laws against, women. They're attacking abortion rights. They're attacking women's rights. And to that, I have to say, black women are dealing with that too. Like, with their skin tone being on trial, with their hairstyles being condemned at work, with the way they talk being critiqued every goddamn day, with all that same stuff that you're fighting, white feminists, black women are doing the same thing. And when I see white women talk in place of black people, black women specifically, but I see white women taking credit for what black women have done, that's when I get to the point that I'm at right now, which is, I'm done. I'm done with it. There are just some things that can be said that once they're said, they can't be taken back, and I'm done. And that's where, like, I think y'all really don't understand how much work white people got to do to fix what they did to us for the last 4 years. I don't think y'all really truly understand what it was like seeing a black person on our news feed being murdered every day did to us. I don't think that a lot of the people that are celebrating right now understand the work that we have to do going forward. Right now, everybody's in a point where we're celebrating, and that's great. But even in the celebration, I'm seeing us be forgotten. And I think y'all don't really understand how done we are with being forgotten. I think y'all don't understand how done we are with doing the work and then being ignored or taken for granted. I think that this next generation of black folks that I'm seeing out there doing the work, I think that they have learned from the boomers. They have learned that just voting and trying to build a bridge is not enough. I think that they learned from the millennials that just taking it on the chin and trying to laugh at it is not enough. And now I see them out there in the streets, and I'm very fudge and proud of them. And they're demanding in every aspect of their lives to not only be seen, but to be appreciated and to have that space made for them. So I think things like the Star Wars stuff, to bring it all back full circle, I think that Star Wars does not understand how fucked they are for what they did to Finn. I think that, and I love them, I think Critical Role is going to learn real quick that they better do something, and they better do it soon. Because playing a POC does not a diversity make. Mm-mm. I think a lot of these companies that have benefited from the coin of Black people are going to see that in the next 4 years that they better do right, because we're done. Mm-hmm. And it's been long since time that we should have been done, and we owe it to the youngest generation of Black people for showing us how to do done right. So that's my thought on it.
And Faye brings up a good point that I 100% agree with, is that just because you fall under the LGBTQIA plus 2+ umbrella does not erase the fact that you can have racism in you. Like, my queerness does not erase my whiteness, and I am acutely aware of that fucking fact, that I have work to do. And I think that the right people will know that will not only understand that there is work to do going forward, but if they don't understand that there's work to do going forward, they'll try to understand, and they will try to learn, and they will try to put in that work. Yeah, it does not give me a free pass. My queerness does not erase my whiteness at all. And one oppression does not absolve people of enacting others, but at least it gives you empathy.
I'm so sorry I drove this to the real street.
It's perfect. It's perfect. This is the Dark Rose section of the stream.
Dark. The only thing I would add, and it's if for any, I've said this before on Twitter, on stream, in real life to people, and if my platform, if I could get one message out and none other, it would be, above anything else, I need white people, very specifically. Mm-hmm. I don't care what other banner you fall under. White people. I need you to do the work, but to understand something. I need you to do the work, but I need you to do the work because the work needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I need you to accept that there is going to be a subset of people out there, of Black people, of BIPOC, LGBTQIA people, whoever, of any oppressed variety, especially for someone like myself who happens to be the literal picture of privilege, cis-het white guy. There will be a group of people who, no matter how hard and how long you work to do this work, will never trust you, will never accept you, because they're always waiting for the day when you're going to turn around and drop them like a bad habit. Mm-hmm. And you need to make peace with that shit now. Because if that's what's going to be your barrier, if someone yelling at you and being like, nah, dude, what you just did is racist and wrong, and you're going to turn around and be like, well, I do all this other good stuff, I don't get a pass. No, you do not.
No.
When you have earned the L, you take the L, because guess what? You're going to make a mistake at some point. Whether or not you mean to, you're going to make a mistake at some point. And when that comes, you take your L, you hold it, and you keep working. And if someone chooses not to forgive you, they don't owe you a damn thing. And you need to come to terms with that now.
And not that anybody's owed an explanation, but I can explain to you why that is. It's because every Black person under the sun in America has their first N-word story.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, it does not come from somebody that you don't know. That's the thing. The thing is, most, if not all, Black people have made friends with someone who, upon digging deeper, generally believes that they are inherently better than you by virtue of skin color alone. And I don't know that I can properly describe what that's like to discover in a friend. And that's the reason we're guarding. I had a friend that I learned believed that deep down. I dated somebody that I learned believed that deep down, and that I mean, I really want you to think about your best friend, right? Mm-hmm. Think about somebody that you consider like, you know, they're my rib. They're the person that I would give my life for, right? And I want you to think about something about yourself that you cannot change. It's just who you are. And I want you to imagine that because of that thing that is who you are, the person that you're willing to die for thinks that they're better than you, thinks that they hold power over you because of it. That's why. Because racists don't walk up to us and go, "Hey, we're racist."
No. We
have to do the work. And what the work is, sometimes it's either poking or prodding, or we don't do the work and we find out when it's too late. And when it's too late is when we let them in. Building a connection with people is already hard enough. Making new friends is not something that's easy for anybody. I mean, everybody has their struggles with women or femme-presenting individuals. Sometimes it's very difficult to make friends with men because you don't know if they're going to be your friend or if they're that guy that's trying to get more out of you or whatever. With Black people, we don't know if they're making friends with us to show people, hey, see, I'm not one of the bad ones. I have a black. Like it's just an added complication that you didn't do anything to earn. And that's it. It's simple, but it's hard to relate that to somebody that has not had to factor that into their life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
like Sphinx said, treating people as a survival tactic.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who's a threat. And you did say something in there. You said that guy. So we're going to bring it around to the that guy portion of the show.
Boom.
Boom.
So, the that guy portion of the show, for people that are not aware, is where we discuss that guy and we quantify them and we name them. If you don't know what a that guy is, if you have ever been at a TTRPG table and there is a black hole of fun, you're most likely in the presence of that guy. If there's one person at the table that you are 100% certain you'd have more fun at the table if they were gone, you're dealing with the that guy. So what we do is we have our guests on and we ask them if they have any experience dealing with that guy. We name them, quantify them, and help to figure out how to deal with that situation. Mm-hmm. At the end of our season, we hope to gather all this information up and put it in a handy-dandy guide for new players or new individuals in the TTRPG community. We are calling it the That Guy Bible, how to identify and eradicate that guy at the table. So, Game Daddy.
Game Daddy.
Yep. You got a that guy story?
Let me talk to you about Brian.
That guy has a name.
There is no other that guy for me than Brian. So, Brian had this thorough belief that whatever situation presented itself, the correct answer was, what would the DM not want me to do? You're in a room. You walk in, square room, there's various things around the room. There's one door, obviously the one you came through behind you, and there's one door to your right. Let's look to the left. That kind of whatever the DM doesn't want you to do.
Oh, the contrarian.
We have to get
say Mr. Subversion.
Oh yeah.
We have to get information out of the merchant. Let's go in subtly. Walk in, immediately pull a life. Tell us what we need to know. We had a plan, Brian. I'm improvising. Brian improvised a lot. It became that we needed to have someone enacting the plan and someone stopping Brian from improvising.
Oh my God.
We had to pre-plan how Brian might improvise with any plan we had to divert the plan in order to make sure we would not get screwed. Okay, we're going to go in there.
Low key, am I Brian? I'm starting to sound like Brian a little bit.
Worse.
Brian had a Wrangler.
Yours worse or Brian's worse?
Okay, this guy is the bad guy of this area. All right. What are you doing, Brian? I'm going to try and befriend him. Why? Because then maybe he can tell us who his boss is. There is no other boss, Brian. This is the boss for this segment of the game. This is the main encounter. What if I seduce him, Brian?
Wow.
Brian.
Wow.
Brian.
Wow.
He's undead. That's not gonna work. I roll to convince him. Fuck it, roll. Yeah. Brian, I've never seen someone so contrarian. It eventually got to the point where Brian started, like...
What class was he?
He was this is 3. It was Ranger? Yeah, Ranger, but 3rd edition.
Oh, okay.
This was years ago, 3rd edition. Because I was like, he had access to magic, but I know he could fight. He was a Ranger. I was trying to remember if he was like a prestige class or anything. No, he was a Ranger, which only made it worse because then the DM would try and keep things on the rails. And he also was effective enough to power game his way through the rails.
Oh, God.
Trying to go somewhere. Oh, there's hungry dogs in your way. I pepper spray their noses, which messes with them because it messes with their sense of smell. And unfortunately, he had the pepper spray. So legally,
he could do it.
The rocks fell, but nobody died. Like when we have a rocks fall, everyone dies moment, the least you could do is have the respect to die. But nay.
Nay. Brian would not die.
Brian refused. This man, I've never seen, like, there's contrarian. And then there's him. And then the worst is when you got into the day he discovered the Tomb of Annihilation.
Oh, God.
From there, everything had to be a trap. Everything.
Oh, no.
You walk into the room. No, I don't! No. I keep everyone back! I use my sword. I poke ahead. Or I use my spear. I poke ahead to try and...
We all know this guy.
There's no goddamn trap in the room. It just got worse. Eventually, Brian was no longer told when we were
my Brian
having
was
our
Brendan.
meetings.
My Brian was a Brendan, and Brendan was
I think it's a
also
BR thing.
This is reminding me of somebody, and I'm not even kidding, named Bryce.
Why
There's a
the
theme
BR
here.
Names?
There's a
I don't
theme
know.
here.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, that would be that guy, no questions asked. In general, I've had a lot of good times. That's my good time.
Wow.
Mine was Bradley.
Mine was Bryce.
He's
Bro.
going through the
way.
Matrix right now.
How deep does this go? Oh, Mark.
How?
Broke the cycle.
Oh, damn it.
Damn it,
I was
Nandy.
like,
What was
I
Mark's
thought we had
last name,
seen-
though?
I thought we had seen through the Matrix. Like, I was just ready for all the green. Shit. Am I the one? Someone shoot me! Damn it!
BR names are banned from the
I'm
table.
still not bulletproof.
I once played with similar. I played a dumb barbarian that went along with the key. It was playing super fast to counter.
There we go.
Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't Brark?
There we
Jay
go.
Brisket.
Ogre is good people. I believe that immediately.
If you have a player with the first name BR at your table, keep an eye on them. You may be that guy. So should we call them the Barbarian?
Barbarian.
The Barbarian?
I'm okay with that.
I'm gonna get the shame angle. Is that what's gonna happen here?
You won it, so I'm not gonna give it to you.
Okay, thanks. Thank you for this edging experience.
God damn it, Anita!
The Game Breaker. The Game Breaker's good too.
It's the second camera view what does it.
Yeah,
That's
it really
so-
is. It's the shame angle.
You want the shame ankle? Now you got it. This is what happens.
The worst BR since Battle Royale. The game BR Acre is good too. The Game Breaker.
Breaker.
BR is the chemical symbol for Bronime because they are no bro of mine.
I hate this chat sometimes. Like I just can't stand y'all. I want you to know that. Just fuck each and every last one of y'all sometimes. Like I
Hi Jay,
Do
I
you-
love you, and I know that you're on the couch over there.
You wanna say hi? Yeah, go, come on. Hey everybody, this is Jay, your dream Jay.
Hi Jay. I love you.
Oh wait, is Face not here?
I don't know. When you get on the fucking mic? No, put my Jesus chips down.
We stand with
Just
you
eat
and
my-
against you.
Anyway.
Yeah. So it's the
Did Godspell discussion flashbacks. Were you in Intoxicated? Were you in Godspell? I was in Godspell.
Same.
Hey!
G chips.
Same. I was Judas.
I was Jesus. Speaking of Jesus, where'd you put my Jesus?
Also, Judas. By the way, the Judas Jesus thing.
Mhm.
If I was Judas, I would have betrayed Jesus too, because that whole situation was bullshit.
Smells so good.
Because Jesus just gets to be like, if you feel
Not remember the story from being in Godspell.
or under a and then all of a sudden Judas has got to come out and dance while be like, some men were born to live in easy, but they feel richer than the bees are in honey. Okay. And I've got to dance while doing that fast. And then Jesus also singing with me, and he's still being like,
they can't take it with
and I'm like, you lazy bastard. Come on. So
You're gonna need to get more of those, right? You're just eating the communion wafers like chips, and you're gonna need to get more.
They're
of them.
really good.
he need the blessings every day.
Two.
And look, they got a little cross on them. Oh, you can't see it.
See because
but-
it washes it out.
Yeah. Hold on. There we go. See a
Oh.
little cross on them.
Yeah, nice.
For everyone, just so you know, if you listen to the Godspell track, Jesus and Judas have a duet number, and that's how it
And
goes.
Jesus has the best part.
Jesus has a much slower amount of singing, but then when they come in together, Jesus' slower part intertwines over Judas's really fast part, but they're both dancing and doing a coordinated number, so it's a lot harder on Judas. So it's just a running gag that it's like, okay, I would be upset too. Godspell is a musical.
Yes.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Godspell was that because Latia played Judas, I got to slap the shit out of her a few times in rehearsal.
That's fair.
And I would always fuck up my line, so we would have to do it again.
When the Bible says that none are righteous, I don't think they accounted for Noir eating a jar of communion wafers a day.
He's got a good body.
Are you saying Jesus is a snack?
Yeah. Why is it like
a whole snack?
What?
Whole snack.
What?
Okay. I thought this makes more sense. I thought that Godspell is a TTRPG show, and I got really excited hearing y'all say
Yes,
about
Godspell is a TTRPG show starring Jesus and the disciples.
All right, so I'm thinking it's time that we wind this down, folks. You know, we've hit our 4-hour mark.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess there's one last question to ask before we see ourselves out. Allow me to take a bite of Jesus while I think of what that question is.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
I think I know.
Why? Can you tell me why you're wrong about Final Fantasy X being the best Final Fantasy, or not being the best Final Fantasy?
Well, the reason why it's wrong to make Final Fantasy X the best Final Fantasy is because it's about a dream who gets summoned by a zombie and given to a chick with 2 different colored eyes, a surfer, a dominatrix, jailbait, and a kitty. And that group goes to fight the dream's dad and Jesus.
Don't forget, the dream's dad is also a giant death whale.
Also, in the process, they play
Would you say that
underwater.
Wizard of Oz is a classic film?
Yes.
Does it not end with everything having been a dream?
It also began very clearly that it's a dream.
Right.
It was clear from the outset it was a dream.
It was clear.
You went into it knowing it was a dream.
It was clear on the onset that Final Fantasy.
It was not clear on the outset that
yes,
it was a dream.
Yes, it was.
Also, if I ever hear anyone around me in my presence pronounce that name Titus, I will uppercut you in the jaw.
It's Titus.
Yes.
It's in the Bible.
Yes, Kayla.
It's literally in the Bible. It's
Noir
Titus tied us. He uses water and plays blitzball underwater. Tied us. It ain't that deep.
Titties.
I will accept titties. I will also accept Meg Ryan.
Yeah, Meg Ryan is legit.
Titus is just Meg Ryan with a sword.
I refuse to accept that.
Look at a picture of Titus. Look at a picture of Meg Ryan.
I refuse to accept that.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is the ultimate Final Fantasy waifu? That'll be the last question.
Okay.
And why is it Riku?
No, it's not. If we're talking pure appearance, I'm more torn. But if we're talking about like how cool they are, I think I got to give it to Beatrix from FF9 because she will forever be the dopest.
Yeah.
You know what? Intoxicated is right. It is Lulu.
But Lulu will always have a very, very specific place in my heart.
Top 5 Final Fantasy waifus. Go.
Lulu, Yuna.
You can't
Tifa.
say Lulu, Yuna, and Beatrix. I mean, and Riku, by the way.
Luna. Wait, well, no. Yuna, Lulu, Tifa.
I'm sensing a pattern. The pattern is boobs.
They all got boobs. What are you talking about?
It's mostly the heftiness of the chest in its
Sydney.
beebs.
I would say I gotta include Lulu. I gotta be honest, but also, good one. And I gotta also be honest about Tifa, although I prefer her in the remake. And anyone who thinks she looks worse in the remake because they're just as smaller, it's human now, and now it's still large. Like, I don't... I don't know if you've seen boobs before, but no, just still, yeah.
Not as often as I like.
That's true. I can agree with you there. Beatrix.
Everyone's like, Tifa, step on me. Tifa, step on me. Tifa, step on me.
Fang from 13.
Yeah.
I want that woman to break me in half.
Okay.
And probably Quistis.
Oh, Quistis.
And I
yeah.
may or may not be saying a bit too much about myself, that I have a recurring thing of women who can break me in half or hurt me in some way. But
I am gonna go. Shit. Fuck. Now my brain's breaking. I've been on stream too long. I'm blanking on names. I'm gonna go
Get
Terra.
it together.
Terra.
okay.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, Freya from Final Fantasy IX. Tifa. Let's see. Tifa. Let's go. I'm gonna try and spread this out across the series. So, Fran is gonna be on the list. And then we'll go selfie. We'll go selfie.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
I can fuck with this.
All right, and that's where we're gonna wrap
That's
for
what we're gonna
today.
wrap for today.
Just
we had to end on an
talking about
important
titties. So
Oh yeah, Lightning would
Game
definitely be our
Daddy.
lesbian best friend for sure.
maybe if her game was good. If we could just get a sign off from you, Game Dad.
Who are you? Where can we find you? What do you do?
Where can we find you? What's up?
Like I said, I'm on the socials, most notably on Twitter, twitter.com/GameDadJF or @GameDadJF. I stream on twitch.tv/Anoriand, so you can find me there. And I will be live again tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And I genuinely go Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays.
Nice.
All right.
Noir, go ahead.
Hi everybody. I'm Noir. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch as the Noir Enigma. I am a full-time streamer now. That means I have all the accoutrements. So if you're interested in supporting me, you can find my Patreon over on my Twitter. Tonight you can catch me over on TPK Roleplay, where we're gonna do the Bard's Reprise, a game that is GM by Sarah Franco, where she takes a musician's discography and turns it into a adventure. Our first one was Phil Collins. We're gonna see who we got tonight. Also, tomorrow you can find me right back here for Second City Saviors. That's gonna be a good time if you like my GMing. Monday, Monday you can find me on Song of the Deep over on the Counter Roleplay, where I play a edgy vampire boy. Tuesday you can find me over on the LFM network for Degrees of Madness, where I play Rupert, a unruly teenager who likes setting things on fire. Tuesday evening, you can find me on Cult, where I'm playing Detective
Gunther McHammer.
Gunther McHammer, because I don't have any goddamn sense. On Wednesday...
That's on Matt and Gandalf's channel.
Yes, that is on Matt and Gandalf's channel. On Wednesday, there may be a surprise on my Twitch channel. I'll make that announcement come Monday. But if you like my GMing, that might be something that you want to check out. On Thursday, I'll be having a State of the Enigma, as well as a write-up session in the morning. And then we'll be doing some Dead by Daylight. And on Friday, catch me over on Chromatic Chimera for Bloody Portrait, where I play an aggressively bisexual pirate. And that's me. Just aggressively
bisexual. That is a whole mood. Hi everyone, I'm Anita or Panita or Critical Misses. You can find me everywhere online under Panita or Critical Misses. This is my channel. This is what I do. This is the kind of weird screaming match that I get into on a Saturday morning with my friends.
'Cause it's fun.
It's fun. It's a good time. So you can catch me here for morning ritual. Next week, our guest is. My brain derailed like hard for a second.
I saw that happen. I heard the dial-up noise going.
There was a 56K modem noise for sure. Our guest next week is D, or It's Ridla, is going to be on the show. Tomorrow you can catch us for Second City Saviors. As for the time slot, we're thinking the 2 p.m. start is what we're going for again.
I mean, if y'all want a double issue,
you need to talk with the other players about doing a double issue.
I'll talk with them to see if they want to do it. But yeah, maybe.
We might be doing a larger scale episode.
Giant size,
double issue.
Who knows?
Of Second City Saviors. Potentially.
Maybe.
Mondays you can find me here after Song of the Deep ends with Talk of the Deep, which is a talk show where I go into the episode of Song of the Deep on Encounter Roleplay with the cast of the show. Yeah, we go deep. Nothing? There we go. Tuesdays you can find me on Madame Gandalf's channel for Cult with Noir. Wednesdays you can find me here again with Under the Pale Cold Sun. That is Vampire the Masquerade game that is GM'd by It's Ridla. We've got a bunch of wonderful people that are also in chat here as well. Thursdays I don't have any streams. Fridays I don't have anything streaming either. But yeah, that's pretty much the schedule for now. I'm working on it. I have a to-do list, y'all. There's a whole to-do list of things that I'm on 2 weeks of vacation, and my to-do list is almost an entire page now. I've been adding to it. Yeah, I've been adding to it as the stream goes on.
He's having way too much fun with that.
He loves the air horn noise. It's his favorite sound effect on that board. But yeah, until next time, we're gonna go on a raid. Who are we gonna raid? Who's live right now? Who is around on the internet?
Oh, okay.
Bright's online. GoJG's online. Stella Luna's online. Milady Confetti. We did mention Milady Confetti. We can raid in there.
Oh, that's right. Today she's doing her partner celebration because you didn't get to do it until now. Also, it's her birthday.
Oh, yeah. Let's raid Milady Confetti.
Okay. Milady.
We've never raided in there before, but we'll go in and we'll say hi. We'll spread some love.
Everybody tip your hats. Milady.
Tip our hats. Hat tip. Happy birthday, Milady is going to be the raid call.
Yes.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So,
and we out this bitch!
And yeah, until next time, the ritual has concluded. Bye, everybody.